boom, and we're going.
All right.
See, all the nerves are gone now as soon as I hit record, right?
Absolutely.
You want to know what's kind of crazy is, I don't know if you saw the Instagram post yesterday, but we're shutting adult membership down.
I did see that. That's wild.
And then get a little closer to the mic.
Okay.
You can pull it to you too.
I'm going to slump.
Yeah, you can slump and just bring that mic to you. Yeah, you know, we stopped kids enrollment for your guys' class.
Yeah.
And then literally Monday night, I can't remember, were you here Monday night?
No.
There was like 60 people here.
Upstairs and downstairs?
Yeah, so when 7 o'clock comes around, everybody moves downstairs, and it was fucking good vibes, but it was simultaneously pandemonium.
Yeah, I bet.
And you couldn't get another spot on the mats to roll, and both benches were like filled with people. And I talked to Mark and Jenny. I was like, I think this is it.
That's awesome.
And they both said, yeah, this is it. Like, but the reason that we decided to push it out till November 15th, is there any people that have been like kind of hemming and hawing on it? And you know what? 3 people have come in and signed up since that post.
Oh, I bet.
They're like, I've been thinking about it, this and that, and I'm here now. So
that's awesome.
But hey, good problems to have though, right?
Exactly my thoughts.
Well, you've listened to the show, so you know how I kind of like to do it. It's not an interview. I don't have any questions.
Yeah.
I just like to hang out with my friends.
Yeah, that honestly was kind of what sold it for me.
Yeah. Hang out with friends, talk about jiu-jitsu, and then also I think just conversations are what people are craving in today's society.
Absolutely.
So I want to open up with the sauna story. Can I tell the sauna story?
Of course.
Okay. Because you had only been part of the team a day, or it was like the first couple days you'd been here, right?
Yeah.
And I don't remember if it was in the sauna or before that, but you were telling me like you were a public educator, you're from Seattle, you moved up north, and you kind of give off hippie vibes, right? And I love hippies.
Yeah.
But hippie vibes can go one of two ways.
Totally.
Hippie vibes can be like radical liberal, or hippie vibes can be like, no, sovereignty and freedom.
Yeah.
You know? And so I was like, oh, I wonder if she knows how like kind of the vibe around here, right?
Totally.
And then you're like, yeah, well, I had to leave the Seattle school district because they wanted me to start teaching transgender studies, and I'm not down with that. And I was like, bring it in, sister. We just became best friends. But very quickly, and let me say this too, I don't expect everybody that's our training partners to share the same political affiliation, right?
Totally.
But I do think teaching children things that are just kind of vile and twisted.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's a political thing. I think it's almost like a moral and ethical standard.
Oh, absolutely.
And
yeah.
So hearing that you were like, nope, I'm not down with that. I was like, oh, she's found home.
Yeah.
We are on the same vibe. And so you became part of the team, and very quickly I like it when people join the team and they're just universally respected. You know, it's always good vibes, hard jiu-jitsu. Your whole family has kind of jumped into the gym, and everybody has a different vibe. And even though your husband doesn't train jiu-jitsu, he's still one of the most present people here.
Yeah.
You know? And then you got your black belt here the following year, and now you're a coach. And I love seeing the journey of your jiu-jitsu unfold rapidly since you became a team member here. But how I like to do the show is we go way back and we take it from the beginning. And I would just love to hear your journey. I know you fought. Were you a professional fighter, or were you fighting amateur?
So I quit after my pro debut.
Okay. You're like, this is a little different now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, how many people can say they had their pro debut in MMA?
Yeah,
very few, right?
That's true.
And so, yeah, just take it from the beginning, because even though we're friends and we get along exceptionally well, we don't just get to sit down and like get to know each other.
Yeah.
And I don't know a lot about your history, so this will be fun.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. Where should I start? You mentioned Seattle School District. It was actually Edmond School District.
Okay, my bad.
They started. That's okay, because when I did work at Seattle Public Schools for 2 years, and it's funny you mentioned the hippie thing, because I basically started in that very leftist realm. And then I drifted into more libertarian leaning, honestly, at this rate, more conservative values by today's standards, right? So I've had this kind of journey of revelation throughout my life, but especially since 2020. So I worked at Seattle Public Schools. I started in 2019 there, and I went to school for education. I have my master's in education, so I consider myself very well educated. And that's probably part of why, I developed a more leftist mindset. I remember going to a Bernie Sanders rally. I remember thinking that Donald Trump would be like the end of the world if he got elected in 2016.
How old were you in 2016?
27.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. 28. I don't remember. Somewhere around there. But I had my daughter Reiko when I was 31, and that was the dreadful year of 2020, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so let's back up then. So I was a teacher at Seattle Public Schools. It was kind of my dream job. I was teaching English language learners English for the first time, which was super fascinating, awesome work. I've always been interested in language and linguistics.
And you speak fluent Japanese, correct?
Pretty fluent. I mean, it's not fluent to the point that I could go and work at like Nintendo or something. Like I would be out.
I love that that's the example.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's obviously anybody that's interested in Japanese culture. That's like a dream job, right? Super dorky in that direction. So when I graduated high school, I went to University of Hawaii at Manoa and majored in Japanese there. I just wanted to go on an adventure, honestly. Like, I've always been a super adventurous kid. Okay, we'll go way back.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like we're like skipping in the timeline. Okay.
Hey, the timeline can be however the fuck we want it to be. And listeners, just buckle up and keep up. Get a notepad and paper out and we'll figure it out.
I'm like all over the place. Must be the caffeine. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been on a podcast. I spend most of my time talking to like preschoolers and, the people that I'm waiting on when I'm waiting tables. So it's like somewhere between customer service and baby babble. I don't know. Anyway, so I've done martial arts my whole life. Let's start there.
Okay.
Always just been a super adventurous kid. Always a tomboy. Oh my God, they would have tried to trans me so hard when I was a kid. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God, like there's pictures of me where I'm just full on wearing boy clothes. Like I look like a teenage boy.
You like catching frogs in the swamp?
Yeah, dude.
Let's start giving you drugs.
Yeah, exactly. Did you just climb a tree?
Yeah.
Did you just catch a football?
Yeah.
Chop her tits off.
You don't like your long hair?
Yeah.
It's because you're in the wrong body. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And how many people that we grew up with, and my daughter is one of those people.
Totally.
Like as she's gotten older, she started to I would say exude more feminist or feminine traits.
Yeah.
But she was in the backyard in the swamp catching frogs all the time.
Yeah.
Like some little girls like to do little boy things. So who cares, dude?
Right. Totally. That was me to a T. And then.
And that was in New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
I grew up in Buffalo, New York, outside of Buffalo, New York, in a small town called East Aurora. Just a cute little, Main Street USA type of town. Happy childhood, awesome life. Like my dad was an aerospace engineer. I did get bullied a lot, but I'm just, kind of weird. And I have strabismus, so my eye is wonky. And I was always just a super nerd, like super into Japanese culture. They have a word for that. It's called a weeaboo.
A weeaboo.
Weeb. Have you ever heard that?
I have not.
You've never heard that?
I kind of like that though.
So total dork culture.
Well, what's the shirt you're wearing right now?
Oh, it's Pokemon.
It's a Pokemon.
Yeah. I
so
love Pokemon.
That's all part of that same thing, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, is Dragon Ball Z part of that?
Yeah.
Okay,
like
see, I'm tracking.
Yeah,
tracking a little bit.
This is a different world for you. This is a different world for your podcast.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about that world other than Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. So what do you say? What did you say? Your eye has what?
Oh, it's strabismus. So
that means it.
The muscles in my eyes are weakened. So my one eye, it's called a Dwayne syndrome. So my eye turns in. You might have noticed that.
I've never noticed that.
Yeah. So it kids notice it a lot when I'm like in front of a classroom, when I'm waiting tables, like my guests will notice it. Cause when I turn my head, my eye will sometimes like look in the other direction.
How do you know guests notice it? Do they say something?
Because I'll be looking at somebody and talking to them, and they'll look behind them. Like
Okay.
I'm looking somewhere else.
I see.
And I'm like, oh, so I'm actually talking to you.
Yeah.
Can I take your order?
It's like, is there a ghost next to me?
Right. Well, hey, you know where I work.
Yeah.
No.
And kids can be just fucking mean, man.
Oh yeah, totally. Anytime you're like a little bit different, it'll be something to. Yeah, but so I started doing martial arts, which totally built my confidence. I never thought of myself as athletic because of the strabismus. I have terrible like depth perception and peripheral vision, so very bad for like ball sports.
Okay.
But not a problem for one-on-one like martial arts. You're right in front of me. You're moving your fists. It's like your whole body's moving. I'm not looking for a ball coming at me somewhere. So I thrived doing Isshinryu karate over in East Aurora when I was a kid. Growing up, got super into going to competitions. That included sparring and kata, which are like the forms.
Yep.
Got very close to getting my black belt. Decided not to get my black belt.
What were the age ranges when you started karate to where you got?
I did it on and off from when I was 8. And
Okay.
then when I was like 13, 14, I started taking it a lot more seriously and started going to competitions. And I loved it.
I like hearing that because the traditional martial arts kind of got a bad rap once the UFC started, right?
Yeah.
It's like, no, if you're not a wrestler or a jiu-jitsu guy or a boxer, like there was some arts that were kind of considered the real ones.
Yeah.
And then there was ones like, oh, those are kind of bullshit. The gentleman I had on last week, Bilal Hassan, who's a local pro fighter.
Oh, cool.
He was a Taekwondo like world or national champion at 17 before he transitioned, right? And do we want our 8-year-olds getting kicked in the neck and stuff? No, right? So I think some of the traditional martial arts are probably a better spot for young people to start. And then if you want to become a fighter, learn how to take the traditional martial arts stance, distance management, all that stuff, and do what Lyoto Machida did.
Yeah.
Or what Wonderboy Thompson did. Like there are paths of using traditional martial arts to being a phenomenal fighter.
Oh, totally. And I think more than the art itself, you're learning the discipline and what it's like to, show up to this thing every day at this certain time and get better and then get your butt kicked and then come back from that. And all of those little lessons that you learn doing martial arts that are applicable to, other martial arts. Like obviously Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a lot different than karate, but some of those habits of mind, I think are helpful and can transfer well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Would you, I don't think anyone is necessarily an advocate for bullying. At least, sometimes I do advocate for bullying a little bit, but kids being dicks, instead of nerfing all the edges and try and protect everything, it drove you into martial arts.
Yeah.
Who would you be right now if you didn't have martial arts as a big focal point in your life?
I would be a completely different person. I would probably be like some like fat leftist making like furry art or something.
Yeah. So maybe you should find the people that bully you and like write them a thank you message on Instagram.
No. They're, they all grew up and, honestly, by the time I got into high school, the bullying went away. Like it was mostly a middle school phenomenon. And it's also a self-confidence thing. Like martial arts gave me the self-confidence to also be like, yeah, fuck you. I don't care.
Yeah. You don't even have to. It never even, I shouldn't say it never does, but I tell people all the time, your jiu-jitsu is going to save you because of your confidence.
Yeah.
It's not going to save you because you put an attacker in a rear naked choke.
Absolutely.
Once people realize you're not the weakest link, they scan right past you.
Yeah.
Because bullies are looking for that.
Yeah.
That's how they're wired.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And it's habit of mind too. Although honestly, nowadays it's like the bullying culture is shamed. I think the bullying culture has shifted. So I think there was a study out of Sweden or something where the most likely people to be bullies identified as like they them.
Oh, really?
And they're bullying like the straight white kids.
Dude.
It's just what's popular, what's being backed up. Like kids are always going to be dicks, but it's just what has changed in the culture and what's shifted in the culture.
What culture not only allows and tolerates, but kind of perpetuates.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Because the young kids that are consuming all the media and all the propaganda that think this is the way.
Yeah.
And then you see the jock kid that's not buying into all this stuff, and he's just trying to be a good athlete because he's a racist and he's a homophobe. Yeah, you're right. That's interesting to see, though.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like society's kind of, put all these layers, and just lately, especially since 2020, just shaking it all up and just, throwing paint at a wall and seeing what sticks. Like it's so interesting.
Do you think
the
it's
times that we live in now?
Do you think it is a choreographed master plan, or do you think it's just human beings are just kind of a shit show?
I mean,
I go back and forth.
I feel like it's like more that it's just human beings are just a shit show, and it's all just kind of, there's definitely more random aspects. And I think there's people that aren't like orchestrating it because they have some evil mastermind. I think there's just a payday. That's what it is. There's just a payday for some people. Like, you look at Congress right now, like, do you really think that most of those people actually care about what they're talking about?
I don't think any
like,
of them do.
Insider trade scoops?
Yeah.
Like, is that why they really want to be in office? I have very little faith in our government.
The government's been shut down for a month now.
Yeah.
And they're still collecting a check.
That's so disgusting.
Isn't it, though?
Like, we're still paying taxes. It's like 10.5% sales tax on anything right now. Like, I just went to pay for some like toddler art lessons for my kid, and it's 10.5% sales tax.
Toddler art.
Yep.
They better
Uncle
get their
Sam's gotta get his.
They got to get their piece of the pie.
And then they're taxing the lady that's doing the classes too, who's probably, not charging a whole lot. It's just crazy the way they nickel and dime you. I've lost so much faith in the system.
Well, I mean, I've went down some pretty big rabbit holes on the show before about that, but like, think about your car.
Yeah.
When I buy a car, I have to pay sales tax on it.
Yep.
Then I have to pay tax on it every year just to operate it. And it's like, oh, that's not a tax, that's registration, whatever you want to call it, right? But then if I sell it, the next person has to pay tax on that car.
Yeah.
And it's like, where's the government been involved in this transaction whatsoever? And so I sold a 4Runner for well below Blue Book because I was in a financial place to do it. And the person I was selling it to, I wanted to kind of hook him up, And when he went to register it, they said, we can't accept this price. It's too far under Blue Book. And so you have to pay taxes on this amount. And it's like, oh, we can't even choose what price to sell our stuff for.
It's such a scam.
It's such a scam because some people write in $1 and like, oh no, you're just trying to avoid tax. It's none of your business if I sold my truck for $1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
So.
Yeah, man, it's just nuts. Let's go back to how I got into jiu-jitsu.
This is a jiu-jitsu episode. We can't get sucked into fucking the government, dude.
Oh my gosh, we'll get back to it. We'll go back and forth to it because we'll talk about why I left teaching, and that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But so I graduated high school in 2007.
Okay.
I was kind of spicy in high school, and my first real boyfriend was serving in the Army, and he was older than me, but not by much. I was 17, he was 19 at the time, and then he turned 20.
Yeah.
And there was like a whole thing when he came home. But anyway, he served in Iraq, and at the time I was still wanting to join the military. That was something I'd always wanted to do since 9/11. I was 12 when 9/11 happened.
Wow.
Like, that was just, it was insane. And we live in New York State.
Yeah, so it's going to affect you differently.
They sent all of us home. I was in 7th grade. The teachers wouldn't tell us anything about it. They were kind of just like, something really horrible happened and you all have to go home. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I lived, a block away from the school. So I walked home and, it was a weekday and I met my family. Everybody's home. Both of my sisters, my mom, and then my dad had come home from work. My dad was an aerospace engineer. It was just crazy. Like, I remember watching on the news. I remember watching Tower 7 fall with my own eyes, too. That was crazy. Yeah, so it was weird to hear like people deny it.
The controlled demolition.
Let's not go too deep down any of those rabbit holes. Let's just, just scratch the surface here. It was just horrifying seeing it. As 12, it was a pretty foundational moment in my life.
Yeah.
And that's when I kind of got into like the like macho stuff. Got really into watching action movies with my dad, really into like the hero wins type of shit. And I think that kind of had a really big impact on my psyche. And so when we first went to war, it was like, okay, I remember George Bush and his little outfit saying, oh, mission accomplished. And I was like, yeah, America, this is awesome. But as I got older, we entered Iraq and, I was dating this guy that was in Iraq and I got to, really kind of see a little bit more of the impact. I was like, holy shit, I'm a hippie. Yeah. I'm a hippie. Let's get out of here. Like, peace, peace, love, and happiness. I don't want to have anything to do with this.
Was he in the 10th Mountain?
I don't know where he was.
Okay.
But
was he stationed in New York though?
He was. I don't know. He was in Iraq.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's the extent. That's the extent of what I know about his military
I feel terrible.
service.
Like I dear John, the poor guy. Like he, but we had to lie to his family. Like he told his family that I was a year older than I was.
Ugh.
And like I had a really, I cannot live with a lie. I had the hardest time dealing with that. So like his family was thinking that I was like going off to college when I was really going into my senior year of high school. And like, I'm the worst liar on the planet, Greg.
Yeah.
I'm nothing but like, that's why, you asked me before the pod, like, hey, just so you know, like, let me know if there's anything you don't want to talk about. It's like, man, I'm an open book,
Yeah.
And, so we're wading into this territory now, I guess. But, then I brought ourselves here. But yeah, that was a big reason why I decided not to join the military. There were a couple times I was in college where it got real hard and I walked to the recruiting office and I was like, okay, I'm thinking about signing up. And then the next day I'd wake up and be like, nah, I actually just want to go to Japanese class and go to anime club after class and be a translator at Nintendo or something, But, God, nothing but respect for the folks that did join up because I feel like I got barely like a 1% glimpse of what that life could be like. And it's just so goddamn terrifying. And I'm still like super anti-war. Like when I was a senior in high school, then I had a bumper sticker that said endless war or end this war, and this was crossed out and it says less. So it looks like endless war.
Yep.
I mean, that was 20 years ago. You could put a bumper sticker like that on any car today and they'd know exactly what you're talking about. Like it's just been this perpetual war after war after war after war and to what,
Yeah, and what is either side gaining?
Yeah. A lot of people are getting really fucking rich, dude.
Well, and that's you want to see something that's kind of indicative of the times. Go look at any post about Dick Cheney passing a couple days ago.
Oh my God, dude.
Any post.
Left and right
and right and center are like good riddance, motherfucker.
Fuck
like everybody was. And for me, it was kind of I don't want to say shocking because I know that conservatives don't like that guy, which means liberals fucking just want to see him burned at the stake, right? But I was like, dude, everybody's kind of coming to that conclusion that we're sick of people trying to profit off of fucking war.
Yeah, dude.
And it's like, dude, you look at the Iraq war and it's like, we lost so many of our service members. How many women and children on the other side were killed?
Yeah.
And it's like, why was it something that was kind of taboo to speak about? Same thing with the Palestinians.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why can't we say, hey, all of these people getting killed, there's something wrong with that.
Yeah.
We don't like that. Oh, you're a fucking anti-Semite or whatever, right?
Yeah,
and go down
crazy.
these weird rabbit holes. But I like your consistency. Yeah. You've been anti-war since the beginning.
Yeah, and
because I was pro-war as fuck for a while. But that's because I also bought into this, kill them over there, otherwise they're going to come over here, and all these things that made us like motivated to go out there and deploy.
Right.
And then you get older and you're like, oh fuck, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I was eating up the propaganda.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was designed to do that.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it almost got you. Thank God you were an anime club. You started weighing your options. You're like, I'm not willing to give up anime club to go kill people in Iraq.
I mean, yeah, let's just say I don't have that dog in me.
Yeah.
I've got the, I'll go roll around on the mats with my buddies and try to choke them out. But,
I bet you have that dog in you if someone's trying to hurt your family, though.
I'd turn into a fucking animal.
That's
dude.
what I'm
I've got
saying.
that dog in me. But,
And I think that's the dog we're supposed to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
we should.
to
as
be
parents.
able to defend the things that you cherish and love the most is something that I think every human being should understand and be willing to do.
Right.
But just to use that kind of energy to fucking make this machine perpetuate, ugh.
Yeah, dude, it's so gross. I like the Jordan Peterson quote, though. Are you peaceful or are you harmless?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly right.
I like to think we're peaceful people.
Well, and a lot of people that believe they're peaceful, they're harmless.
Yep, totally.
And it's like, you're the motherfuckers that get marched into the ovens.
You're not just going to see red.
Yeah. Yeah. When it finally comes time to be able to be a formidable person, I'm going to become one with never investing 1 minute into being a formidable person. That's just not how the formula works,
No,
right?
it's not. You're going to fall on your ass and make a fool of yourself.
But you come in here on a Wednesday night at 7 p.m.
Yep.
with a group of SS guards and tell everybody to march into the oven. Let me know how it fucking works out for you. Right? All right, so you graduate.
Yeah, so I graduated high school. I decided to go to school. My parents were like, just go anywhere. Don't join the military. And I was kind of thinking about becoming an art major. But even then, I was like, yeah, there's not, what am I going to do? Be making logos for somebody that I don't really want to be doing. Let's keep that in hobby land. And so I decided to go to school for language and linguistics. I've always been really interested in learning languages.
Do you speak other languages other than Japanese?
I speak like bad Spanish. I took 7 years of it in school, and I took a couple years of it in college too, but I'm still not great at it. And then I took German in high school too for a few years. So I've always shown kind of a knack for it. So in college, I started taking Japanese and just took to it like right away. Was so interested in it. There's 3 different alphabets, which are super interesting to learn. 2 of them are finite. They're just phonetic. So they're easy to memorize. And then the third category are kanji, which there are thousands of them, right? Those are the characters that can have different readings and different meanings, like jiu jitsu. It's 2 kanji, right? Gentle art, right? Judo, gentle way. It's do. The do is derived from the Chinese word for Tao, which is the way, which is like a religious thing too on top of it. So it also means road, right? And in native Japanese, you would say michi, right? Which is road. So
there's literally thousands of those symbols.
Yeah.
Because when you look at Japanese writing, to me, it doesn't. I mean, is that Japanese writing on my belt right behind you?
yeah, it says jujitsu.
Okay, that's my belt
Yeah.
says jujitsu
Yeah,
on
it does
see?
say jujitsu. Yeah.
I didn't know that. But man, it just seems almost incomprehensible.
Yeah, well,
But I guess it's just how like we have words that are structured.
exactly.
Okay.
So, Greg, do you know every single word in the English language?
No, of course not.
Exactly.
Okay.
Japanese people don't know every single kanji.
So if they see a kanji that they have never seen before, are they able to sound it out, or is it just like, nope, don't know that one?
if sometimes you get really weird ones and like names of old places, and there's kanji that they don't really use anymore today that they might come across in like some historical text or something. There are ways of looking it up in dictionaries. And with technology, there's digital dictionaries, which make it even easier because you can usually predict the stroke order, because that's a whole thing, like what order that you write each stroke in.
Okay.
So if you think about how you write the letter A, you might write it differently than somebody else. It's not really a big deal in English. Like there's usual patterns, but sometimes people have funky ways of writing. In Japanese, you need to have like a specific stroke order for how you're writing each line.
Okay.
I mean, people have their own handwriting and different styles of writing, but
My handwriting. Story time, real quick.
yeah, let's hear it.
You know that I married Jenny and Jordan, right? And so I took my notebook and I just jotted down a bunch of notes of things to talk about and whatnot. And then I was struggling reading my handwriting is so bad that I struggle reading it myself.
Yeah.
And Jenny goes, I never knew that was a thing. I always thought people with like chicken scratch like you, even though no one else can read it, it's still fluent to you. I said, no, I can barely read it myself. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah. As an English teacher, I've read some pretty atrocious handwriting before.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So in Hawaii,
Yeah.
is that where you jumped into jiu-jitsu then?
Yeah. So I basically
Great place for it.
Exactly. It's the best place ever. So I just, this was 2007, 2008. I Google searched dojos near me. I don't have a car. I just have a bicycle, keeping that in mind. I don't want to have to take like a bunch of buses to get to training.
Was it specific jiu-jitsu you were looking for or literally dojos, like martial arts?
Any martial arts.
Okay.
Pretty much. Any martial arts. I was also noticing that I was starting to party too much. And I was thinking, okay, what did I do at home? Like, because I partied at home too. Like, I always had martial arts keeping me in check. Pretty much. Like,
it's a pretty powerful ability to self-witness that at 19 or whatever it was.
I was such an idiot though too, Greg. Like,
we all were, Val.
I did so much stupid shit in college. So many bad decisions. Just
I can't wait to hear about one of them.
property destruction, just so much mischief. Breaking into like empty pools, because it was Hawaii. Like, people had like pools. Like, okay, anyway. Trespassing shit, just not good choices, not making good choices.
That's part of growing up though.
It is. It is. Like, you kind of have that freedom and you play around with it, and
I also
and you learn
think
from it and hopefully don't die.
I also think, and maybe I was going to say my generation kind of feels like one of the last generations to be able to go out there and do stupid shit.
Oh gosh,
and it doesn't really have
TikTok,
yeah, that's
dude.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like now it's like if you go out there and make a bad choice, it can have like this catastrophic consequence that follows you.
Yeah, dude.
When I was a kid, if half of the stuff that we did was documented, I'd probably still be in jail,
Seriously, or shit you say that gets you canceled. Oh my God. Kids these days, they do really, it's a different, it's just a different world.
A different world.
Like, they're the pioneers of experiencing life in this way that's very different. But yeah, I mean, so anyway, definitely grateful that, my Facebook from 2007, it doesn't exist anymore for whatever reason. Got into martial arts again just by Google searching martial arts near me. Found Egan Inoue's gym, Grappling Unlimited, in Manoa Valley.
Okay.
So kind of a nicer part of the neighborhood, but walkable from where my university was. So there were times when I would go, take jujitsu class and then go right to class. Like grody though, like not even taking a shower. Just going to class.
Just a petri dish of ringworm.
Oh my God.
So Egan Inoue, and is he
Egan
obviously
Inoue,
Ensign Inoue's brother?
brother, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both.
Who's a martial artist legend.
Yeah. He, fought in Pride. He's still in Japan.
Was the academy you joined? Was the specialty MMA, jiu-jitsu, a little bit of everything?
It was definitely more jiu-jitsu focused, but they have had MMA fighters. At the time that I was there were a few guys that were kind of playing around with the idea of fighting, and training to fight and getting ready for fights. And I remember Egan said, because I was doing kickboxing classes and I started doing jiu-jitsu. Just out of nowhere. I actually had like a karate gi that I showed up in the first time. And of course I got absolutely roasted for that. Like from the get-go, like getting absolutely roasted for everything. Like,
I don't think I've ever had someone.
This little white girl comes into the gym. Like all these island boys are like, who you think you are? Like, that was another interesting cultural thing to experience, because they didn't accept me, at least not at first.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Because there's not being local, but also being a girl, and also just being like a little bit of, a college age shithead too.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I come in my karate gi saying that I have experience
Okay.
from Ishinryu karate.
Yeah.
And they're like, listen, like, this is jujitsu, this is kickboxing, this is different. And it was very different, of course. And I learned very fast. And it was awesome. I was getting my ass kicked all the time. It's not like there were other girls to train with.
Oh, so the academy was just all guys too.
Yeah.
What kind of courage does that take to step onto a mat that is just so far outside of your comfort zone?
I mean, it wasn't that far out of my comfort zone because even when I was doing Ishinryu karate back home, like all of my friends that did it, except for a couple of them, were all guys. Like I'd always, hung out with guys. Again, like they would have tried to trans me so hard when I was a kid, like just the biggest tomboy, having Halo LAN parties with my bros after karate practice on Friday nights. These are some core memories from my days. So coming in and being like, oh, it's just a bunch of guys like my age, and there's a brown belt instructor, and okay, like this is cool. And boxing coach was awesome too. He ended up being the sous chef at Duke's Waikiki, which is where I ended up working.
Okay.
For like the last couple, and that was my first hospitality, like food and hospitality job that I had that I really loved. And he got me into that, which was really cool. There's like a thread of that throughout my life too.
Yeah.
The food and hospitality somehow also paired with my martial arts journey. So anyway, so I started training here at Egan's, and after a while, after I'd training there for a few months, Egan was like, yeah, like I see, like you seem to really like sparring and like going live and stuff. Have you ever thought about doing MMA? And I was basically like, what's MMA? This was like 2009.
Okay.
And he's like, well, let me tell you, like, if you ever watch UFC, and I'd kind of seen it at bars and stuff. And I had a boyfriend that had showed me the first Tough ever.
Yeah.
And when I watched, I was like, it's kind of gay. Like, you guys are just all on top of each other.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of, but baby MMA Val was like, oh, just stand them up. Like, let's see more striking.
Yeah.
So it's kind of amazing that I've become more of a grappler throughout my martial arts career too. So that.
Do you
was pretty
miss
interesting.
striking at all?
I do. I was thinking about it the other day. Like, I kind of just miss hitting pads. Like, I was never big into kicking, even when I did karate. When I fought MMA, I feel like the best tools that I have with my legs are a good teep and then leg kicks. And I'm like, that's all I need. Like, I like to box a little bit. I've got a couple boxing fights under my belt. I like throwing big punches, but ultimately I'm just a grappler. Like, I'll get in there, I'll eat punches just to get in on the takedown. That's always like my game is like, get them on the ground. Like, that's my dominant zone. But yeah, I started that whole journey right at Egan's, and I had my first 3 fights with him. I had my first fight April 2011.
Okay, so you got there 2009.
Yeah, so I started training in like 2009, like more seriously. So my first year of college, I didn't really train. My second year of college, I spent in Japan on study abroad.
Okay.
So I was there for a whole year learning Japanese, and I joined a Nippon Kempo club when I was there too. So that was also Nippon Kempo. Have you heard of it? Do you know what it's like?
Mm-mm.
It's a really interesting type of Kempo because it's kind of MMA like, because their sparring is more full contact. You put on, it looks like kendo gear. Like, you put on this big bubbly kind of shield on your torso. You put on a kendo mask almost looking helmet. You're supposed to wear a mouth guard. I never did, and I paid for it after. And then boxing gloves, like kind of modified boxing gloves.
That gives me anxiety, dude.
Yeah. I definitely had a few concussions in this club.
I'll tell you what, one of my least favorite ways to train, and Charlie Pearson used to do this to us sometimes, is like MMA with boxing gloves.
Yeah, yeah.
No, because I can't get my jiu-jitsu. It's so much harder.
Oh, but I feel like it's really good for like I would do that a lot when I was training MMA because it's good. It's good for your jiu-jitsu because you have to work a takedown with these fucking gloves on, right?
Well, no, I mean, anything that's good for you always in the moment feels like,
it
fuck.
Sucks. That's the best kind of thing for you is the thing that, Yeah, you just have to torture yourself. Like if you're preparing for a big jiu-jitsu tournament, right? Like put yourself in the shittiest positions. Put yourself in your worst nightmare positions.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget one of my, since I've been on this crazy journey, but I eventually ended up back in Buffalo for a while. One of my best MMA coaches always, I got to shout him out, Don Lilly. He was always a big proponent of visualization, right? And visualize when you're in the worst possible position and think about what you're going to do to get out of that. And at the end of that visualization, think of your hand being raised.
Yeah.
Every single time. Like think of the worst things that could happen to you in there and your hand being raised at the end of it every time.
Dude, I love that.
Yeah.
Because like if you just tell yourself I'm gonna open up with a double and then I'm gonna this and then I'm gonna that, and then that other person says, oh no, you're not. Now what? You know?
That's one of the things I love about competition though, is like you get out there and you're riding wind horse. Like have you read Shambhala, The Sacred Path of the Warrior?
No.
You would love this shit.
Sounds like I have to.
Yeah, it's like it's been a long time since I've read it, but I read it when I was in college when I first got into fighting, and that, it really opened up some mental pathways. But it's the idea of just that flow state. It's just another word for being in that flow state where you're not thinking, you're moving to you're responding to the situation that you're in and you're staying on top of it.
Yeah.
Right. It's like the idea of wind horses, it's like a tornado of activity, but you can ride it like a rodeo. Like
I like that.
Riding wind horse.
Dude, and think like, oh fuck, I don't know, man. If you take, let's just take the revolution.
Yeah.
The one that we did as an entire team.
I was
right?
so sick.
I think everybody was visualizing and believing and
Yes.
almost like building a destiny as a team, right? And it goes into exactly what you were just saying, how is like you had a coach that really helped you with that, because then you go out there and you don't think, you just do.
Yeah.
And I always say, if you have to think in a fight, it's too late.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
exactly.
you can't be like, oh, he's getting kind of low on my hips. What should I do? Like, that's not how fighting works.
Yeah, totally.
And so we went out there and absolutely crushed as a team. And you got the tournament's fastest submission of the day.
Yeah.
In 12 seconds, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were still brown belt, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Jump guillotine. That was awesome.
Dude, it's fucking rad.
My favorite though is the medal that Drew made by hand for me.
Yeah.
I'm
sure.
Yeah. And then I got a really cool plaque from the Revolution, from Leap LLC. Such an awesome tournament. Did you see that IBJJF is coming to the Showplex Theater?
Next month or this month?
Yeah, this month in a couple weeks.
Dude,
They've never done the Showplex before. The Revolution was the first one to do it. And I swear, somebody from IBJJF saw that and they're like, oh, this is a lot better than Everett. Let's do it here.
Where is the Showplex?
The Showplex is
Puyallup?
Yeah, it's in Puyallup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn it, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I mean,
far.
it might be a better event, but I'd rather them be in Everett because it's
I know it's
10
closer.
minutes away.
Right, it's closer for us.
Are you going to do it?
No, I can't
okay.
get set. I'm not going to do any tournaments until I can put in a solid 6 to 8 week training camp. I'm very adamant about that.
No, that's definitely smart.
Yeah, I know where I'm at.
And you're black belt now, so
Oh my God, it's crazy.
And here's the weird thing about black belt. You can go out there and murk dudes.
Yeah.
And then there's dudes that take your soul. Yeah. You know what I mean? I guess that can happen at most belt levels, but black belt is different because there might be a person in your bracket that's been a black belt longer than you've been training jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where it starts to get kind of weird,
Yeah,
right?
totally. Totally. That's one of the exciting things too. I'm totally looking forward to the opportunity to compete at black belt. I've got to get my ducks in a row with a lot of other stuff first, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
So when you were, you were within, not Ensign, what's his,
Egan.
2 years of training before you took an MMA fight.
Yeah, like a year and a half.
What was that decision like? And what was that experience like being a 20-year-old woman?
Yeah, I was 21 years old.
Okay.
It was awesome. I just like smoked my opponent, honestly. I did take a couple of hard hits in the beginning, and then I got her in an armbar, a triangle to armbar. I was a white belt still. It was cool. It was in like the Filipino Community Center. Like Hawaii is such a cool place for the MMA scene because it's so ubiquitous. Like I feel like everybody and their brother trains, in jiu-jitsu or kickboxing or boxing or something. Like it's so
Island culture is fight culture.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's so cool. And it creates, there's a reason why you get Max Holloways and BJ Penns.
Yeah.
And, it's just a very fight forward culture. So you have, little MMA events at, the 50th State Fair, where I was supposed to have my first fight with Rachel Ostovich, but I broke my hand, so I couldn't have my first fight against her, which is crazy because I follow her on Instagram and she's like, blown up a lot. I was also supposed to fight Kylan Curran one time too. They're like, yeah, she's a little ahead of you. And totally. But yeah, my first fight. So I had my first fight. So there's that too, that matchmaking aspect too. And even then at the time, I mean, this is before there were women in the UFC at all.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. And Dana White was still saying women will never be in the UFC.
And then he saw Ronda Rousey and he's like, come to us.
Yeah. Well, what's so cool, I think, about women's MMA is that women move very differently. Women's bodies are different. They're built to do different things. And we fight differently. We don't fight like small men. Like we fight, I mean, I don't know, like our hips just move differently. Like there's certain things with like flexibility. Our necks are smaller, harder to choke. I swear to God, women have better pain tolerance too.
Of course,
you can kick us between the legs, and we're not gonna be bothered by it.
You guys are built to endure pain.
I mean,
that's part of your body's natural, just what it's capable of doing.
I know it's really controversial to say that men and women are different, but
yeah,
being an athlete and being in any sport, I think you can, any time where there's a men and women interact, if not in a co-ed sport and co-ed training, you can see like how blatantly, obviously different.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's
I've noticed and tell me if you've seen this too. I feel like, okay, when women's MMA kind of burst on the scene, you had a handful of girls. You had Miesha Tate, you had Kat Zingano, you had Ronda Rousey, you had, and Cyborg was always the X factor, right? Because she was like bouncing around different contracts and stuff. Yeah. So like everybody wanted some super fights, and they got some of them, but they didn't get all of them. And then you had like the next generation where like Amanda Nunes came in and just was knocking everybody out. And it's like, what the fuck is this, right?
Yeah.
But outside of a handful of the pioneer greats of female MMA, I feel like the talent gap was massive.
Oh, for sure.
Because I remember watching UFC and there'd be these two girls fighting on an undercard, and it's like, oh, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're making these mistakes as martial artists that like people that have been grappling here for 6 months wouldn't be making.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, what? I don't like the fact that they're putting untalented people on the UFC just because they're women.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of bad for women's martial arts. But now, fast forward to now, and maybe you know who they were. It was a fight about a year ago, and it was two Asian women, and they both looked like Anderson Silva's out there. They were good. everywhere.
That's awesome.
And it was fun. I was sitting right here on the mats watching it with a group of our teammates. And I remember thinking like, all right. And they're like 125 or something.
Yeah.
They're small women. And then they were fight of the night. And I was like, okay, times are changing.
Hell yeah. I love that. I love that. I mean, I think it's just like at the beginning of UFC, you had guys that were really terrible.
Of course.
Too, right?
Yeah.
So
I
it's
always
just,
say,
you have to go through those growing pains, right?
if Demetrius Johnson, if we could teleport him back in time, he would win UFC 1 through 10.
Yeah.
Weighing 125 pounds.
You think so?
I do think
Even
so.
against Henzo.
Not
Henzo. Who the hell was
Hoist.
that? Hoist, yes.
Yes. I mean, Hoist was a great poster child for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Demetrius Johnson, I mean, his fight IQ is like Anderson Silva's.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, size matters. When people say it doesn't, they're not being honest with themselves. But I just think the overall understanding of MMA that Demetrius Johnson holds, I think he'd be chewing dudes up like Tank Abbott and Paul Varlins and Chemo. Like, even Ken Shamrock. You know what I mean? Like all these old school guys. And who knows? We'll never know. But at the same time, it's evolved so far. Like you could probably take any middleweight on the UFC roster, the worst one that you've never even heard of, and he would just chew through UFC 1 through 10.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing how far it's come in just 30 years. I think it's a really exciting time for combat sports in general.
Until he saw, did you see what came out yesterday?
What came out?
And I don't know if this is the rumor mill or bullshit, so I don't want to put this out as any type of fact, but it said FBI to investigate UFC for fixed fights.
What?
And I was like,
that sounds like clickbait. That sounds like clickbait.
No, because like, dude, I mean, I think Dana White is a shark.
Yeah.
Because I think you have to be when you're operating that level of business.
Of course.
But I also think Dana White has integrity.
Yeah.
I do think that. And people are probably laughing hearing me say that. But that fucking dude has always delivered.
Yeah.
He has.
Well, I mean, for it to be some big conspiracy, you would need a bunch of fighters and the fighters' wives and the fighters' girlfriends and their families and their coaches and, all these people to be in on this secret.
Yeah.
And I just don't. That just doesn't feel real to me.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. It's come a long way since I started fighting in 2011.
So your first fight, you chewed through, you got an arm bar.
Yeah, exactly. And just like you said.
You're like, fuck, put me back in there.
Yeah.
Because you're all jacked up.
Well, let me tell you. So that was April 2011. I'm at work May 2011. I'm at work after school, close to the end of the school year, get a call from my mom. I'm like, this is weird. It's like super late at night in Buffalo. So I pick up the phone. She says, your dad's dead.
Ooh.
Yeah. That just totally sudden, fatal heart attack out of nowhere. He was 61 years old, didn't have, anything going on, anything that would have that on the radar for us. It was just out of the blue. And he was my best friend.
Yeah.
Like the person I am today is because my dad would take me to my karate lessons, would be there at taking me to tournaments, in the next state away, waking up early to drive me there and be there for me.
Well, how much pride does that give you that you get to carry on his legacy now?
A lot. Yeah.
And now I see you doing that with your kids every single day.
Yeah, dude. His legacy is definitely strong in my family. And it's why I've also chosen to hyphenate my name too. And pass that on to my kids too. I just didn't want to lose that part of myself. My father didn't have any sons. And I kind of just wanted to keep that little relic of our name in our family to honor him. And just a remembrance and a nod every time we write our name, anytime you sign your name, like we're still carrying that torch for you, Dad.
Yeah.
So yeah, huge inspiration. So I fly back to Buffalo from Hawaii. I stay in Buffalo for like a week or two, and my coach calls me. Egan calls me. He's like, Val, I'm really sorry. you know, what happened, everything.
But I already know this. We got another fight lined
We got another fight lined up. Do you want to fight?
I knew that's where this was going.
Yep.
Well, and the truth is, man, like I'm losing my dad was a really tough season, man. I can understand that. But one thing we have to remember is like the last thing that the people we lose want us to do is stop our journey.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
But they'll be with you for that
100%.
journey. Too.
Yeah.
And you kind of like take a new step into this next stage of your life. And they're not with you in the physical realm, but they're still with, they never leave you.
Mm-hmm.
They'll always be with you. And it's hard because there's so many times where you're like, man, I just, even now, like 15 years later, I'm like, man, I just want to call him. I want to click my phone, say dad, Siri, call dad, and just be able to talk to him, you know? And that still tears at my heart. You know, I just want to send him this picture of my kids. I just want him to meet them.
Does your dad ever visit you in your dreams?
More so when he first passed, but
Okay.
he does occasionally.
You know me, I'm full woo woo, right?
Oh yeah. Love it.
I think that that's a way of communication. Because
Definitely.
my dad doesn't come to me in my dreams very often, but he did one time fairly recently. And when I woke up, it was just like, dude, that wasn't just some weird dream.
Yeah.
Like you could feel a different energy around it.
Yes.
And I think it's a weird way of communicating that we just don't fully understand yet.
Absolutely. I'm with you 100% on that. It feels like, because you have dreams and there's people in it and you know that it's not real.
Yes.
Right? But same thing happens to me when I have dreams about my dad. It does feel like, wow, I just got to sit down and have a conversation with him. I just got to hug him.
Yeah.
Like, and it feels real. It doesn't feel like, oh, it was just a dream. Oh, it just kind of fades away. It's there with you. It's reassuring.
How do you align spiritually?
Oh God, I'm all over the place, man.
Okay.
I'm all over the place. So
So we're on the same team.
yeah, because it fluctuates too, right? Because I actually went through a really tough period after I quit teaching where I was very Christ curious, and I actually went to a church pretty regularly and got baptized again and everything and the whole freaking 9 yards. But then I started having some issues when they started getting prosperity gospel-y, like the whole, oh, you give the church 10% of your income and you'll get more than that back. And it's like, fuck that. This is
Yeah.
just another MLM. This is just Jesus flavor MLM. Can't get into that. Can't stand that. When you see like the pastor or the preacher and they have like a really, really nice car, they're wearing like an $1,000 outfit and you're sitting there, you know, eating your free chicken sandwich that you're happy to have, you know, because you just quit teaching.
For sure. Yeah.
You're like, hey.
Or like, I don't know, when you expect something from someone,
Yeah.
but you put it under the guise of this is for Jesus or
Yeah.
this is for spiritual growth.
Right.
Now we're starting to, we don't have an understanding of what our agreement is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like for students of the Jiu Jitsu Academy, it's $150 and a month, and you come here and learn Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah.
And then if I end up buying a new Forerunner, I don't think it's going to hurt anybody's feelings because this is the agreement that we've landed on.
Yeah.
But I would fully expect my students to be very upset with me if I was like, "Hey, I know this agreement's $150 a month, but I'll give you the best jiu-jitsu ever if you
Yeah.
give me 10% of your income." Like 10% of your income.
Isn't that crazy? But it's literally in the Bible. And some churches will seem to kind of twist that to mean like that should go to us, right?
Well, yes. I mean, and I have no idea what the scripture says, but how about we say this to people? Donate to the church, A, whatever you're comfortable with,
Yeah.
and B, whatever's feasible for your family,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? And it's going to be different based on everybody's income levels and everybody's needs as a family too. Like 10% isn't just even across the board.
Yeah.
If you're fucking scraping, trying to rub two pennies together to make it work.
Totally.
Plus, anytime someone has a, I don't know, once money starts to have a seat at the table and spiritual growth, it's kind of,
yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, I think on the one hand, it's tricky because, there are churches that do great outreach programs and they really do take care of people. But it's also tricky, right? Because there's,
Then you got the mega pastors with helicopters and private jets.
Exactly. And it could just feel gross. So that kind of started to make me, that was the first kind of seed of doubt. And I did interview at a Christian school, and I realized that, okay, like I'm very highly qualified as a teacher, but like spiritually, I'm not on the same page as them. Like, I don't think that the world was made 6,000 years ago. And I don't necessarily think everything in the Bible needs to be taken literally. Like, I think a lot of it is very metaphorical, and a lot of it is, they're words that have been passed down for thousands and thousands of years. And I think there's a lot of unknown. And you go so far back in the Bible and it's like, holy shit, like what were they talking about? And there's threads to other ancient literature. There's threads to other legends. Like it seems like, and then you look at like Fingerprints of the Gods, and you look at some of these ancient unifying sort of ideas and legends. You're thinking, how deep does this go? And you can almost see Christianity as sort of a modern, you kind of think, it's all of this history, and now we're at this modern point, and it's this very specific thing. But what if you go back far enough and it's really something completely different? Mm-hmm. Like you look at, like there's all kinds of books that have been written on it. Like there's, oh gosh, I'm slipping. I can't remember, like Brian Murray Rescue's written some books about it and stuff. And there's the idea that early Christianity was like a fertility cult. So it goes back really far, and there's so many different ideas that it makes you wonder, like, is this point that we're at right now where we're sitting at church and they're telling us, okay, like you need to circumcise your baby boy and this and that. Where does it come from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It gets weird.
And it's
definitely
like,
gets weird.
I can't
I shouldn't say
follow all of this.
Yeah, I think just being able to critically think and determine what works for you and what feels a little off.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some rabbis circumcising boys with their mouths.
Oh my God. Don't even get me
started. I'm just, and I'm just pointing that out because it's like, and we talked, I had my buddy Jeff on last week, who is a devout Christian. We talked about a lot of Christianity and the tenets of that. And I think there's a lot of good in it.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I think that there's a lot of power in aligning with Jesus's teachings.
Yeah.
All that stuff can be true.
Yeah.
And then we can simultaneously say, but this part feels weird to me.
Right.
I'm not down with that.
Yeah.
And I think if you're unwilling to do that you're kind of putting yourself in a cage.
Totally.
We're not supposed to be in cages.
Yeah, no, we're not.
It's okay to have questions on things.
Yeah. And I feel like if we...
And Göbekli Tepe's proven to be 12,000 years old.
Oh my God, it's so cool.
It's like...
What do you think's in the bags? And those little bag pictures that you see, it looks like a handbag, and you see it in Göbekli Tepe. You see it in Egyptian pyramids,
with
and
like
Aztec
the falcon
pyramids.
face.
Yeah, like these furries with handbags.
Yeah, so you want to know what I think?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I think the 12,800 years ago, when the cataclysmic event occurred that caused the Great Flood, I think prior to that the entire world was interconnected.
Yeah.
So that's why when you find something in Ecuador that matches something that you've seen in Egypt, okay, that's not strange in today's world, because we can get on a plane and we can be there in 14 hours.
Right.
I think back then they could probably get on a Stargate and be there in 14 seconds.
Yeah.
I think we had a lot of advanced technology. I mean, dude, you've seen the vases that are made out of stone, but then have handles on them the specs they exceed what people could build today on a lathe.
Exactly.
But you can't build it on a lathe with those handles.
Yep.
So we know that technologies existed that no longer exist today. Now, if technologies existed that no longer exist today, to me, that proves something catastrophic happened. Because if nothing catastrophic happened, my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather would have been the guy that could build those stone vases.
Yeah.
And he would have passed that down to me.
Yeah.
So humanity had some kind of reset.
We are a species with amnesia.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what Graham Hancock says.
So why is that? Something occurred. And then
Younger driest impact theory.
yeah, well, we'll go drive to East. I just drove through there, you know.
Who was that? Randall Carlson?
Yeah.
Who was like tripping on acid, and he looks out at the Grand Coulee? Mm-hmm. And he's going, holy shit, that's how it was made.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love learning about this kind of stuff. But it goes to show you, I mean, Christianity's 2,000 years old, with Jesus being here 2,000 years old. What if he's not the first? You know, I mean, Graham Hancock talks about in some of these South American cultures where a very Jesus-like man ends up coming and being like a civilizing saint, very much like Jesus was.
Every culture also has like I'm gonna butcher how I say it, but is it Quetzalcoatl?
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
I think so.
Okay. Where it's like after the catastrophic impact, flood, all that stuff, these teachers started showing up.
Yep. Yeah.
And they started trying to direct humanity back towards the ancient civilizations where we did have these technologies and these teachings and these understandings of farming and agriculture and stuff. So there's parts of this story that exists outside of the Bible.
Yeah.
And when I say, I don't think that detracts from anything from the Bible per
Totally.
se. But again, the Bible is also thousands of years of playing telephone.
Yeah.
Could some things potentially have been missed or not even missed? Just that wasn't part of that story.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I think I don't know. I am always going to, I believe in Jesus as somebody that was here, that was teaching and showing and inspiring.
Yeah.
But I also think that we are not supposed to outsource the true God that's inside of each and every one of us. Like, I think we all hold this divinity, this power. And the Bible says, like, the kingdom of God is within you.
I think Jesus was trying to teach us that.
I think so too.
And I think
that's
things got kind of out of hand with things like the Spanish Inquisition. And now we have a very ambivalent view of Christianity.
Yeah.
You know? Which is unfortunate because at its heart and at its soul, I think Christianity is ultimately good, but it's been manipulated by evil actors for so long.
Which is what happens to everything that's good.
Anything, yeah.
And I think that's not detracting from the power of true Christianity in the Bible.
Absolutely.
That's just saying these people are muddying the waters of the good you're trying to teach.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I can tell you, though, like, some of my favorite human beings on planet Earth are preaching the Bible.
Yep, same here.
And I'm telling you, their moral compass is better than mine.
Oh, God, me too, man.
You know what I mean?
Me too.
And so I could never say, oh, that's not the way. Well, it's the way if you're this guy or that guy. And one of my best friends, man, Joshua Duke, shout out, he said to me, he goes, the reason I've landed on Christianity is because every time I'm faced with a hard decision in life and I reference the Bible and I pray on it, my life, the decision that I land on takes my life in a positive direction without fault every single time.
That's awesome.
It's hard to argue with that.
Hard to argue with that. Can't argue with that.
You know?
That's awesome.
And so it's, but I also am comfortable saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's a superpower because a lot of people want answers. They want very specific, this is how it was, this is when it was, this is how it went down.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like maybe.
And living with that uncertainty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah. So it's hard to say, but I mean, I definitely feel like, when I think about the afterlife and stuff and my dad coming back to visit me, there's got to be something,
There is something.
and I think when my daughter was born and she came out and put right on my chest and I'm looking into her eyes and I just remember like two things. Like one, I remember thinking like this vision of mountains on a night sky background and just infinity. And that was my idea of like infinity and God. And it was like, oh, I 100% believe in God now. One, like just looking at her, I'm like, oh, yep, there's God. This is it. This is it. This is God. We are God. All just like this very like, almost like tripping. You know what I mean? When you're on mushrooms and you're at that point and you're like, oh my God, we're all connected. Like this is all a thing.
Yeah.
So I was feeling that, one. And then two, looking into her eyes and going, oh my God, Dad, are you there? That's you.
Whoa.
Like I see you in her.
Yes.
And as she's grown up, she's a completely different personality. I mean, my daughter, she's her own person.
She's a little wild animal.
She's a wild animal.
And I love it.
Yeah. She's awesome. She's awesome. The greatest joy in my life is having kids. I cannot emphasize that enough. Everything that I've ever done, fighting, my college degrees, like jobs I've had, traveling, scoring an awesome trophy husband, like, no, like having kids.
Yeah.
It's the fucking best thing. It's my greatest achievement and my most noble and important task I've been given in this life is to raise them.
Dude, and shouldn't all mothers feel that?
I think
Or all parents should feel that, right?
I would hope that the majority of them feel the same, but sometimes they might like forget their noble task, I guess. But it's...
You know what I love about watching you parent?
What?
No, this is important because we have a handful of babies coming right now. Jake has a baby on the way.
Yeah.
And like, I want our newer parents to understand something that's very important.
Yeah.
Even though the kids feel like they are the center of your universe, their life revolves around you, not the other way around.
Yes.
Right? They get to grow up and live the life that they want to live.
Yeah.
But in this portion of their existence, they are living the life that you are choosing, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Because I see parents that are like, if my kid's not in bed by 6, it's a nightmare. We got to leave right now. And it's like, dude, if you allow your kids to start to assimilate to how you choose to live your life, their schedule becomes your schedule.
Yeah.
Where they go is where you go. And you come here every night with the 2 kids. And it takes a village, right?
Yeah,
we got a
does.
handful of the other moms that are like...
And Jenny.
Yeah. Where it's like, hey, we got you while you're coaching or while you're training.
Yeah.
But...
Jenny, Brandy, Brittany.
Yeah,
big
shout outs because like the community makes it work.
Yeah.
But you are pursuing you and they're along for the ride.
Yes.
And I think
Thank
that's
God.
I think that is the way to parent. Because you could be like, oh, you know what? Like, I got to be here. They got to be down for the nap. They got to eat at this time. And I've seen a handful of my friends that their baby schedule has almost like erased their own identity.
Gosh, yeah. Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to say some unpopular truth bombs about mom life. Your baby doesn't need a schedule. Like, your baby doesn't know it's 7:00 at night. Your baby doesn't know. Like,
when you were carrying your baby across the Arctic tundra in a papoose, like,
Right.
7:00 didn't mean shit.
babies will adapt. Like,
They're more resilient than you.
Yeah, dude.
Like when an earthquake happens and a fucking building collapses in on itself,
They're
and
like,
they
is
don't,
this Tuesday?
they
Is this
don't-
normal?
do you know this? When they dig out survivors 10 days later, it's the babies that
Oh
live.
my God, dude.
They're resilient as fuck,
I didn't
man.
know that. That's sad and scary.
It
and
is.
awesome.
It is. It's all of those things. But like, yeah. And dude, again, keep your identity alive as a young parent. I can't tell you how many practices Siler has watched in a car seat.
Yeah.
And she was watching Lucas Leitch and Marcus Buchecha and Marcelo Mafra. Like, she had no idea at the time because she's 2.
Yeah.
But she's watching the greatest grapplers in the world train.
That's awesome.
You know? And it's like, hey, I'm going to practice. And if Jenny could watch the kids, cool. And plenty of times she couldn't. And so, they'd come with me. And that's also a superpower for your family. Your husband, Turo, is able to, man, he is so present to try and help you continue to follow your passions and your path.
Yeah.
And what a gift.
Yeah.
You know?
Won the lottery on that one. Still don't know how I landed that one. Trophy husband. And he's a chef.
You met him in Japan?
I met him. So I studied abroad my second year of college. And that's when I was doing Nippon Kempo, which was like that, just like sparring in a bunch of kendo gear, basically. Concussion City. And I thought, I was a little punk rock girl. I met Toru there, and he was hanging out with the English speakers.
I was pronouncing it wrong. My bad.
That's okay. It's Toru, Toru.
Okay.
Yeah. But he'll also go by T. You can call him T.
That makes it so much easier.
Yeah, totally. So I met him, and it's funny because he was actually more interested he was a business major, and he was interested in pursuing, you won't believe this, fashion.
Okay.
And he was really into hip hop clothing at the time. I mean, this was, the late 2000s. So kind of that like Eminem sort of look was still hanging around. And he would wear like all South Pole gear. And I was like, who is this loser?
I don't know what all South Pole gear is, but
it's
I can
like
imagine.
Hip hop clothing. He would call it hip hopper clothing. Anyway, he learned a lot of English by listening to hip hop and rap and watching South Park. And that's part of why he has such a colorful vocabulary.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But we just stayed in touch on Facebook or whatever. And, I went back to school in Hawaii. I finished school and went back to Buffalo. And I was, getting all into fighting from, I was active from 2011 till 2017. But in 2014, when I was living in Buffalo, training, like fighting was just my life after college. I was like, I'm not going to use my degree. I'm going to be a fighter. Like, I'm only going to be this young for so long. There's a window of opportunity. I was fully hell bent on being a UFC fighter.
Okay.
Like, that was my goal. I rented a room from my friend's house for like $200 a month. And she trained too. So we would both, train at the same gym, Victory MMA in North Tonawanda. It's not around anymore. It got absorbed by another gym, and then it's kind of its own independent thing now, operating as Lumber City Combat Sports in Niagara Falls.
Okay.
Shout out to Eric Herbert. And it was also Don Lilly, and then Tommy Neff was the boxing coach, and he was my boxing coach for both of my boxing fights. And when I learned how to box, I'm still not a great boxer. I'm like a blue belt when it comes to boxing, like a low-level blue belt, probably.
Which means you're probably a purple belt because people are always a little self-deprecating.
No. But anyway, those guys were a huge part of my success. I had some really big fights then. In 2014, I fought Andrea Lee in Louisiana, which was such a cool fight. Or was it? It might have been end of 2013. Beginning 2014, I can't remember. Such a cool fight, Andrea Lee. I ended up losing a decision, but at the end of the fight, when they were stitching up my eye, because I had a laceration of my eyebrow, Dustin Poirier came up to me and said I was tough.
Nice.
And I was like, you know what? That's awesome. That's like a little souvenir I get to have for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Shreveport, Louisiana was actually one of the fanciest fights that I'd ever been. It's one of the fanciest venues. It was some casino. It was with LFA, Legacy Fight, whatever. Such a cool experience. I had some of my biggest fights, but I was also thinking about the future, and I applied to the JET program, which is a teaching exchange program in Japan. It's run by the government. It's very selective. Now it's more so than more so than it was before. Kind of hard to get into because it's a good deal. You get paid like a teacher in Japan. You have less work, and you're an English language assistant basically. So the Japanese Department of Education essentially assigns you somewhere to work in a public school. So I accepted.
And this is 2017?
2014.
Oh, okay.
2014. Go to Japan. They're like, okay, you're actually pretty good at speaking Japanese, so we're going to send you into the mountains with all the people that don't speak any English at all. Because you can get by. You're good. You don't need to be in Tokyo. We're going to send you into the countryside in a little town called Shisoshi in Hyogo Prefecture, which is the same prefecture that has Himeji, which is where the largest castle in Japan is, Himeji Castle. It's this big, beautiful white castle right outside of Himeji Station, and Kobe and Akashi, which is Toru's hometown.
Okay.
So I was off on all these adventures, fighting, going to school, blah, blah, blah. Toru's off on all these
You're like,
adventures.
that dude with the hip hop gear is still in the back of my mind.
Well, he got really into lifting.
Okay.
At the same time that I got into fighting, and we were Facebook friends. This was back when Facebook was still cool.
Yeah.
And like mostly just your friends.
Yeah.
And not just like advertisements, groups, rage bait.
Yeah, all the
like
bullshit.
Garbage now. So we had kind of both seen each other. I was like, oh man, he went from chubby to ripped. Like what's 'cause I've always been a big fan of toxic masculinity, if you will, Greg, right? Shocking, right? So I'm like, oh man, he's getting kind of ripped and it's kind of cute now. Wow. So we were just kind of texting back and forth, and he thought the same about me. And he was in Canada at the time. So he got his bachelor's in business. And he was thinking about more business stuff, but he ended up doing a working holiday in Canada and working at a diner. And then he ended up in Banff too, working at a resort, again in the kitchen.
So you go to Japan.
Yep.
And he comes to North America.
Yep. Yeah. Go figure. You're just passing ships, right? So finally he finishes his tour in Canada, comes back to Japan. He's an only child. His mom's divorced. He wants to spend some time with mom and the dogs. And he says, oh, hey, I see that you're in Japan. Wow, you're in Hyogo Prefecture. That's where my mom lives. That's where I grew up. Like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And it's also where we met, too. We met in Konan University, right, which is just outside of Kobe. Kobe is super neat. I think it's like the 5th or 6th most populous city in Japan. It's just a neat city. It's historically been a big trading city. So some more Western influence in Kobe than other parts of the country. So just an interesting place, interesting coincidence that, we both ended up in like 2-hour distance away from each other at the same time. He's like, well, hey, do you want to get coffee sometime? And I was like, yeah, let's get some coffee.
I thought you were going to say sushi.
It's so stereotypical.
I know. That's why I said it.
No, our first date was at a Starbucks. About as Americanized as it could get. And it's all history from there.
So he moved to America.
Yeah, my joke is that I dragged him home with me.
Yeah, okay.
But he loves the U.S. Like he's always, he grew up learning English and being interested in American culture. For him, so he's so in the way that I'm a weeaboo and like a big fan of Japan and Japanese culture and anime and Pokemon and sushi and all that shit, Toru is similarly. And in Japan, they call it an Ameribu.
Oh, so he likes all the American shit.
He'll be so mad if he listens to this podcast and hears me call him an Ameribu.
So don't call him that tonight when I see him.
He might not even know what you mean. He'll just give you the grumpy face and be like, what are you talking about? But it's, you're into American culture and American food, Trader Joe's, Costco, Starbucks.
That's crazy.
Right? Yeah.
Because it's just normal shit here.
Yeah. No, for him, it was very much like the music, the media, Harley Davidson, motorcycles. He's always had a motorcycle, loves motorcycles. So he's always been interested in that. And he's always been interested in tattoos, too. And that's very taboo in Japan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, it's super taboo in Japan. You can't go to a public gym with tattoos. you can't go to a public beach or pool with tattoos.
What does that mean? You can't go?
You're not allowed to enter. There's signs that will show like a dude with like a Yakuza tattoo with like an X on it. And they don't care if you're a foreigner. They just
So I should never even go to Japan unless I want to wear a suit.
So here's the thing. I mean, especially now, the yen is so weak, and they've actually had a real problem with so many tourists coming in, actually. But it's mostly Chinese tourists. But you'll occasionally get, some asshole American tourists too. But they have adapted in a lot of ways. They have adapted. So there are some saunas and there's some hot springs where you can either get a private room and then it doesn't matter, which is what we did the last time we went to Japan.
Like put the degenerates over in this private room?
No, like you rent like a room and it has its own hot spring in it, like attached to it.
That's what I'm saying though, but because you have tattoos, like you got to be over here.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it is changing. I think it's becoming more modern. I know you occasionally see like flare-ups of controversy where, oh, we saw this bus driver exposed a little bit of tattoo, and is the city gonna fire them? Is the city gonna,
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well,
here's the thing to think about though, because that sounds silly.
Yeah.
Right. But now look at our culture that has no standards.
I know, exactly. Like, what a luxury, right?
Like, are there streets filthy? Are there needles everywhere? Are there people passed out high on opioids? And it's like, the saying, a slippery slope, right?
Yeah.
Now, do I agree that people with tattoos should be treated differently? No, of course I don't.
Yeah.
But there is something about holding standards that if you have standards set, it's going to allow people to operate just on a little different frequency.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. Japan is going through a lot of changes right now. There's population decline, and the last prime minister got in a lot of trouble because he explicitly said, hey, we're going to solve this problem basically by importing foreign workers.
Oh, shit.
And I don't know have you seen anything about what's been going on in Japan lately?
No, I have no idea.
So Japan is a very monocultural society. It's very ethnocentric. It has a national identity. Japan is for Japanese people that speak Japanese.
And I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, but a lot of people do apparently. And there's just been such a push for globalism, worldwide. And I'm not saying globalism is a bad thing or a good thing or even necessarily, I mean, to some extent, it's going to be an inevitability.
Yeah, it's an inevitability.
But you got to know how to turn that faucet on and off, right? What does that look like?
Yeah, I go back and forth on it.
Right?
I mean, we could do a 2-hour episode just on that because on one hand, like the melting pot of America has been a pretty neat experiment.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of cultures that can cross-pollinate and thrive living together. But then there's also something powerful about a certain culture or a certain group of people that adhere to their own cultural standards. And like, I can see both sides of it.
Yeah. It's such a tricky line to walk because there are so many people that are fully on one side and fully on the other.
How many, what's the percentage of black people in Japan? Do you know?
It's very small, and most of them are going to be either refugees or they're African-American college-educated kids that are working there.
Okay. What about white people?
White people, it's going to be a lot of people like me, expats, that teach in Japan. There's a whole expat community in Japan, too. Of dorky white people like me.
Are people allowed to
and
immigrate there permanently?
It's very hard.
Okay.
They have very strict standards. I have some friends that have done it. And there's nothing else to do but to basically assimilate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be very fluent in Japanese. I think you need to be there for like 10 years to even qualify.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not think they share dual citizen. Oh, there's some countries they do share dual citizenship with, but not the U.S. And I think that's left over from World War II.
So it's like, hey, if you want to be Japanese, it's our citizenship.
Yeah.
And you relinquish that.
So Toru relinquished his Japanese citizenship
Oh,
when he
shit.
became an American citizen. But he loves this country so much. He would die for this
Is
country.
there, if he relinquished his citizenship to move here, is there any issues with him going back there just for vacation?
No.
Okay.
It's just the same as an American visa. So you can go there on a tourist visa for 3 months without anything, needing any sort of anything.
I see.
You can just get on a plane tomorrow, as long as you're not like a criminal or something. Spend 3 months in Japan, as long as you're not employed there.
If you stay longer than the 3 months, do they kick you out?
Yeah, you overstay your visa, dude. Don't do that. Right? Don't overstay your visas, people. That's the danger zone. That's when you get in trouble with. And the Japanese authorities don't fuck around,
They don't fuck
man.
around?
They don't fuck around.
Why doesn't everybody
guilty.
hate them like they hate ice then?
Well,
I'm kidding.
they
You don't have to
actually,
answer
yeah.
that. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
This is a question I always ask my friends that their household involves 2 different languages.
Yeah.
If you're in bed at night just watching Netflix, are you guys speaking Japanese or English?
If we're watching something in Japanese, we're probably speaking Japanese. If we're watching something in English, we're
So
probably
it's just
speaking in English.
it's that fluid, huh?
We're a very fluid household because we're both very functionally bilingual and our kids are incipient bilinguals. So
Do
this
you
is what
guys-
I have my master's degree in.
Okay.
So I got my master's in education for teaching English to speakers of other languages. And that's just a mouthful that you would just say English second language.
Okay.
They keep changing the acronym because they're like, oh, what if it's their 3rd or 4th language?
Don't
like,
care.
it's so stupid.
Yeah, it's
dude.
not-
It's just like
it's
all the woke
irrelevant.
stuff. It's crazy.
Well, dude, I mean, I've always been fascinated by language, even though I don't think my brain is.
Don't say that about yourself. My brain is what?
Well, this is coming from someone that took like 3 years of Spanish, and I can basically say like, adios.
Yeah. Well,
No, but I'll say this, and I'm not trying to be self-deprecating. I'm saying like watching my friends that speak other languages, I like Igor, for example.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you're Russian.
yeah.
Do the boys speak Russian? And he's like, not really,
Oh, that's too bad.
And I was like, I think if I was in that position, I might literally implement a household rule that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday is English, and the other days, and just to keep that
Yeah.
part of the brain constantly engaged. Because, dude, when your children are 20 years old
Yeah.
and they're fluent in both,
Yeah.
not only is that a gift just in the realm of English and Japanese, but now their brain is capable of absorbing all languages.
Yes and no. I mean, here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's some stuff that's really cool. One, a lot of families will do that. They'll have one parent, one language. That's a common situation in bilingual households. They'll say dad is speaking French, mom is speaking English. Even if the kid speaks to the dad in English, the dad's responding in French.
Okay.
Even if the kid speaks to the mom in French, the mom's responding in English. And they'll have those rules. We're lazy. And we're both pretty good at both languages.
So it's just gonna happen by default.
It's going to happen by default, but here's the thing also. This is also why I travel to Bellevue 5 days a week so that my kid can go to Japanese language preschool.
You're a savage. When you told me and Jenny that, I was like, oh, Val is committed.
Dude, it's a campaign. Like,
Yeah.
I tell myself that every day. Like when I wake up and I don't want to do it, I'm like, this is my job now. Like, this is my job. Like, yeah, okay, I wait tables like part-time, but that's not like my job is I am mom. And this is the best thing that I can do for my daughter right now. And seeing her language skills develop, because here's the thing, when you're at home, you can't expect language skills to develop in the vacuum of the home because the kids are getting it from authority figures and maybe siblings, right? And media. But are they getting it from peer groups? Because for you to become functional in a language, you need to be speaking it with peers.
Oh.
You know,
Yeah.
like you need to have that back and forth. You need to get playful with it. You need to be comfortable with not knowing. That's also why another common thing that people experience in Japan is one, you're a Japanese language student, you're in Japan as a foreign exchange student or a teacher or whatever. You're drinking with your Japanese colleagues. All of a sudden, when you're drinking, you notice one, my Japanese feels so much more fluid. I feel so more tuned in. Like I feel good. You're loose. You're feeling it. You're tuned into the people around you. One. And they're tuned into you, and you see the barriers start to go down. When the barriers start to go down, you're feeling much more comfortable with experimenting with language. And that's how you become a good speaker in that language.
Before you know it, you're hammered on stage at Japanese karaoke, just fucking letting it rip.
Oh yeah, dude, that's a whole scene right there, man. Karaoke's big. The cool thing about karaoke in Japan is they're in individual soundproof rooms.
What does that mean?
So you
like
rent
you and
a
your
room,
friends?
you and your friends.
Oh, okay.
You're not in front of the bar with a bunch of other strangers. Oh hell no, that is not in tune with Japanese culture at all. I'm gonna sing in front of strangers.
Oh shit.
No, I'm gonna sing in front of everybody that works in the office with me and somehow not be embarrassed because we're all drunk and singing together, and then go back to the office on Monday all prim and proper, like, you know, nothing ever happened. But yeah, that's how kids learn. That's how anybody learns with language. You need to have that barrier go down, feel good about using it. I promise you, Greg, if like 10 Spanish speaking dudes join the gym tomorrow and they're really good at jiu-jitsu and they end up being a core part of the class and they're speaking Spanish all the time, don't speak any English. They're kind of trying, but they're not super good at it. I promise you and some of the other guys at the gym would like start to pick up on a little Spanish and be like, yeah, you know what? I do feel kind of comfortable like testing out my Spanish with you. And oh, this person already speaks Spanish anyway from the team. So they're just jumping in. You're going, I want to hang out with them too.
Do you know we have two kids in my youth class that obviously they're bilingual, but their parents are not.
Oh, interesting.
And their parents were sitting out on the picnic table one day.
Yeah.
And I came over there with Annie because Annie's bilingual.
Yeah.
I said, Annie, I need you to be my translator.
Yes.
And I told them, I say, hey, I can see how, because they're very intrigued by watching their children train.
Yeah.
Right. And I say, hey, I can tell how intrigued you are by jiu-jitsu. I want Annie to translate this message to you guys. We don't need to talk to train together.
Yeah.
If you ever want to start
that.
training jiu-jitsu, I would love to have you guys.
I love that.
So just put that out there. But I also thought that would be cool because it's obviously when you teach, you use words and verbiage, but I think I could teach jiu-jitsu without any of that.
Yeah. I mean, when I was in Japan, when I was teaching the second time I went back, I'm still an active learner of the Japanese language. I still study. And when I was at the Japanese gym, like almost nobody spoke really good English. Like there were like one or two guys that kind of used it for work, but Himeji's kind of out in the countryside. You know, I was in Shisoshi. I would travel to train in Himeji at the Gracie Baja there. I learned so much Japanese just by being in that in-group and feeling comfortable. I was a purple belt at the time, so there's a little bit of, let me show you how I did this thing there too.
Yeah.
And you see people move their bodies as they're speaking Japanese, and you're going, oh, that's what this is called. Oh, that's what this movement is called. Oh, that's the bottom of your foot, the arch of your foot in Japanese is called tsuchi fumazu, the part that doesn't step the ground.
Fuck, that's a mouthful.
And I learned that from doing jiu-jitsu in
Arch
Japan.
versus the part that doesn't touch the ground.
I think it's very
No, I
poetic.
like that. Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
Tsuchi fumazu.
How is the just the pure jiu-jitsu culture in Japan?
So it's interesting. So in Japan, so at its root, jiu-jitsu really started in Japan with judo, right? So you have some of the threads of that old thinking of martial arts. You're bowing before you get on the mat. You're bowing to your partner every time that you train. You're bowing before you start training. You're bowing before you step off the mat. So there's a lot of respect involved. You're definitely using formal language with people that are ranked higher than you, and you're showing a lot of respect to them. It's not that different from here, from a lot of gyms that are here in the US. Our gym is very different, I feel, because we're kind of like, the belt is just what holds up your pants, right?
I'm so far down that train of thought that I'm even thinking about saying lineup is no longer by rank.
I mean, I like it.
I go back and forth on it because
Yeah.
it's like, man, you're a black belt or a brown belt. Like, you've put in work.
Yeah.
And there is a hierarchy because of it. Because typically the brown and black belts will take down the white belts and strangle them, right? Like there's a real hierarchy going on. But also our value is in our jiu-jitsu. And it's irrefutable.
Yeah.
There is nothing to discuss. I don't have to pretend that my jiu-jitsu has value in it by requiring you to bow to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I see both sides of it.
Well, this is what I tell the kids because I have them, bow into class.
And
bow
the
out
kids
into
are
class.
different because I think it's important to start to instill all the things you talked about earlier: schedule, discipline, showing up.
Yeah, totally. And like ritual though too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very much a ritual. Like the bowing is a part of the ritual. When you compete, you have that ritual too, right? You bow. At least we do. We bow before we step on the mat. Run up to the ref. Shake the ref's hand.
Yep.
Shake your opponent's hand. I bow to my opponent. Get my arms right. Do my little thing, my little flick with my hands that I do. They go, okay, body, I'm ready. And so when it says kumbach, that switch goes off. Like we talked about earlier, that switch where you're riding wind horse. You're a different creature.
Yeah.
You're not peaceful anymore.
Yeah. I'm going to guillotine you in 12 seconds.
Right? Right? That animal just comes alive.
Yeah.
Oh, felt so good. I hadn't seen that animal in so long, and it felt so good to know that
it's still in there.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Like, she is still there. That mama bear. Now it's a mama bear. But when I was fighting, it was just this feeling of this almost primal like beast, that you keep inside of you, that you get to let out and play and flirt with death.
Have you ever trained with Big Tom?
Yes.
Daniel's main homie?
Yes.
Savage stud.
Oh, bless his heart.
So when he was a pro fighter, he said he would watch his matches from above.
That's psychedelic, dude.
And like third person type shit.
That is psychedelic.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, dude. There are a few fights where I've actually blacked out.
And not from getting punched, just from fucking where am I?
The fight that, especially my earlier fights, the fight that I had after my dad passed away, it was, so my dad passed away on May 14th. The fight was on June whatever, Father's Day.
Oh shit.
That year, dude.
That's the one that Egan called you about and was like, got another fight
Got
lined
another
up.
fight for you. Fought this tall girl, outweighed me. She weighed in at like 140. The fight was supposed to be at 135. I was like eating to get to 135, like, and just this tall bitch. And I think she did probably get me with a few good punches in the beginning, but it got to a point where I was just like holding her head and just kneeing it into oblivion. And like, that's when I kind of snapped out of it. That's the only part that I really remember.
This is your second
That was
fight?
the second round. Yep.
So you can knee to the head in Hawaii on amateur circuits?
Yeah, they're amateur. Yeah, and this was a
damn,
while ago, and I don't think it was sanctioned either. Like,
okay, it's just fucked.
But I mean, this was 2011. Like, this was before, sanctioning was really big, at least in Hawaii.
Well, dude, I took a couple MMA fights in 2006.
Yeah, dude, I want to know what that was like.
No, there was no knees to the head, dude.
Really?
No knees and elbows.
What state?
Here.
Oh, all the states are different.
Okay.
All the states are different. In New York, it was completely illegal until 2016.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, and again, shout out to Don Lilly. He was a big proponent of bringing it to New York State, like and getting it sanctioned again. It wasn't until 2016. So he ended up doing some of the first amateur fights ever in New York State since the ban was put into place.
What a strange thing. Like, I'm not really a big proponent of trying to protect people from themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
You want to go and lock yourself in a cage and fight another dude or another chick?
Right.
That may have catastrophic consequences.
Yeah, totally.
It might. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the reality of fighting.
Oh.
Just like riding your motorcycle down the street might have catastrophic consequences. Like, okay, go live life.
Yeah.
But nope, you can't fight each other.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Weird.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Yeah, I fought, I remember it wasn't my last amateur fight, but it was my last fight that I had before I moved to Japan in 2014. I fought Caitlin Chukagian, and she went on to have a pretty successful career, but I fought her, I think it was her last amateur fight. It was in Pennsylvania. And in Pennsylvania, the rules were like, once you get them to the ground, you can't hit them in the face.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, so I'm like,
That
fuck, I took
ruins.
her down. I'm looking her in her face, wanting to punch her.
Yeah, what
and
can
I'm
you
like,
do?
hit her in the tummy.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's what you can do.
That is taking the essence of fighting and just completely manipulating it, because getting on top of you on the ground is how I finish you.
Right.
That's
exactly,
that's fighting 101.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're a jiu-jitsu guy or a wrestler. It's like ground and pound is part of being on top of other humans.
Yeah, totally. And you train it so differently
Yeah.
too. Every time I lock horns with Chris Vassell, dude, I switch into it's different type of grappling. Like, I'm like, fuck, I'm on my back. Like, what am I doing here?
It's MMA grappling.
It's not like, oh, I can just wrap you up and kind of hang out here. It's like, I got to think about that hand coming. It's like twitchy. You're thinking about getting on top, hiding your head when you have to. Like, yeah, it's fun. It's a different animal.
You said after your pro debut, that's when you walked away.
Yeah.
Is there a specific reason, or did just life take you a new direction?
So both. So I didn't think I was walking away from it at the time, but I was. It was, when was this? 2017. So it was, 2017 in the fall. So I was in school. I was in my second to last semester of grad school, and I was training to fight. And I just remember fighting and studying for grad school at the same time. It's like, if you want to fight, if you're going to be a fighter, it has to be 100,000%. All of you. There is no backup plan. But there I was working on my backup plan, which was, being a teacher. Oh, fighting's not forever. I'll have a career as a teacher. And won't it be funny when I tell my students I used to fight in the cage? So it just, once you get to that point and you're not totally dedicated, you don't have that dog in you anymore. Man, that dog runs away. And
it's interesting that you were able to identify that.
Yeah.
And kind of acknowledge it for what it was.
I didn't really identify it until years later, though, honestly.
Okay.
Because, I graduated 2018. Toru and I knew we wanted to move to Seattle because in Buffalo, there's just no economic opportunities. And I thought also that I would be moving here. I started training at Ivan Salaverry MMA.
Yeah.
Awesome MMA gym. Like, I thought I would still fight under Ivan. Didn't end up working out that way. Again, because I just got into the education career, and you can't be one and the other at the same time. You got to be so totally obsessed, right? But the thing about being an educator and being a full-time teacher is such a draining, it's really a 24/7 job, at least when you're first starting off and when you're working with the population that I did. Very challenging work, very rewarding, but it definitely ended up taking over my time. And if I wanted to keep fighting, I should have just stayed in hospitality. If you're a fighter or an aspiring fighter, I'm just going to put this out there for your listeners. I keep forgetting that there's an audience. I just kind of like,
Dude, I told you, we're just
I
hanging
know
out.
it just like hit me. I'm like, oh my God, people are going to be listening to this. Like, if you're a kid and you're getting into fighting and you want to be a fighter, get a job in hospitality, dude, because you can work part-time and make enough to get by and have a really nice schedule where it works around your training schedule. You can wait tables at night and train in the morning. You can wait tables 3 days a week and make good money, and still be able to load up your plate with training and say, this is my job.
I didn't know how much money was in hospitality until my 16-year-old got a job as a hostess.
Yeah, I heard about this on your last podcast.
She's coming home with over $350 a night sometimes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Just getting tips.
Yep.
I was like, what? Since when does a hostess get tips? I thought only
always.
waitresses gets tips. And she goes, no. Half of our business is carry out.
Oh, nice.
So so she's the one that takes the order on the phone.
Yeah.
She puts the order in, and then she rings them out, and they tip her for that process.
Atta girl.
And I was like, oh shit.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, the tip jobs are where it's at, because you could be getting paid Snohomish County minimum wage, which is like almost $17 an hour now. It's a lot of money. And you get tips on top of that.
But still, if you go to work at Taco Bell, you're just getting that minimum wage.
Right.
Like why would...
And you're getting crappy quality food. If you work in fine dining, like when I was a broke college student and I was working at Duke's Waikiki, like you work at a nice enough place like that, or like the place that I work right now, and they do a whole family meal where the chefs will actually make like a buffet style meal for all the people working in the house.
Oh,
and
nice.
you eat that before your shift starts.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah, then you're not
There's
eating,
a lot of places like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because working at Taco Bell is one thing. Eating Taco Bell, that's a totally different thing.
Fuck that.
You're going to poison yourself.
Probably just getting like greasy skin. Like, so nasty, dude.
Well, I mean, I think this is a good segue because you're talking about the transition from fighting to teaching.
Yeah.
Not that we have any agenda to push here, but in the beginning of the show, we did say we would visit this.
Yeah, we did.
And,
didn't we?
yeah, and so now, since we set that expectation, diving into the world of becoming a public educator, and it sounds like, I mean, you kind of already articulated how hard it was, yet also rewarding.
Yeah.
But then it reached a point where you had to walk away as well.
Yeah, well, the adults ruin it, right? Because you do it for the kids.
What age group were you teaching in Seattle?
I was teaching high school.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was teaching high school English language learners.
So English language learners, meaning all the kids in your class, English is the second language?
Yeah, second or third or fourth or whatever. But
yeah, that's right.
They're still learning English.
But their first language is...
All over the place.
All over the place.
All over the place.
That sounds very challenging.
It's challenging, but again, very rewarding.
Okay.
Very cool experience. Honestly, my experience at Seattle Public Schools with the actual kids and my actual like elbow to elbow coworkers was just awesome. Like it was a really cool thing. And we were all thinking about what is the best thing for the kids. You know what I mean? So I started working there. My first year was 2019 to 2020. So the year that everything shut down and went to hell. And 2020 just totally radically changed my worldview, because being in the education profession and having gotten my master's in education and being at the Graduate School of Education in Buffalo, New York, you get a very, very leftist, progressive worldview in your orbit every single day, and very anti-Trump. I can't tell you a single person that I graduated with that was excited about Trump being in office that first year. It was, very, very just a one-minded way of looking at it.
Which means they all wanted Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right?
Okay.
Yeah, gross. Honestly, even the Democrats at the time didn't like her either. If Bernie had gotten the nomination, we would be in a totally different world right now.
The Democrats fucked themselves.
I mean, granted, I'm glad, like in retrospect, that Bernie didn't get it, because I've looked back on it and I'm like, holy shit, socialism's bad, guys. Like that's not gonna work.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I also think regardless if the person that gets voted in is someone I like or dislike, I do believe that democracy should play itself out.
Should, yeah.
And when Bernie he should have been the nominee.
Yeah.
And then the Democratic Party is like, nope, we're force feeding everybody Hillary Clinton,
Ugh.
because they didn't think Donald Trump could beat her. And it's like, and that's the thing. Like, sure, we're supposed to have like this system where we get to vote the best person in, but the individual parties themselves can run however they want within themselves.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
like, sure, we may have primaries and all that, but at the end of the day, just like the last time, we're putting Kamala Harris in there because we know Biden can't win now.
Way to keep losing, voters.
It's crazy, dude.
Dude, it's so stupid. But
So you started seeing like,
Yeah, so I was very, this left-minded thing. And I, even with the gender stuff too, I was actually very open to that too. I was like, yeah, okay, like, sure, like once in a blue moon, you're going to get somebody that's transgender and we should treat them with respect and blah, blah, blah. And what if it's a student? So I was very much on board with everything that was coming out of the district office. At
but
the
what you
time.
just said,
oh, sure, you're they, them.
but what you
Totally.
just said, I think even my most fucking conservative right-wing wacko friends would also agree with that.
I know, yeah.
Hey, here's this transgender person.
Yeah,
let's
like, let's
bring him on the mats, put him in a
treat them with
gi, and treat
respect.
him with respect.
Yeah, and sometimes that respect means, referring to them in a way that you might not have done on your own and say, you know what, it makes this person feel good if they hear in their earshot that I'm referring to them as they, them, or she, her, or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? It's,
but then you're like,
the-
but am I validating mental illness at this point?
Exactly.
You
So
know?
there's that side of the coin too.
And then also when other people want to live radically different,
yeah.
it's just it's like you were just talking about with Japan. Assimilation is very important,
Yeah.
right? And if I choose to live my life radically different than most people, I just have to accept that I'm the one that's different,
Yeah.
and that's going to come with some challenges.
Yeah.
I don't think the 1% can expect the whole world to bend their reality to make you feel good.
But that's where we're at right now, and this is deliberate. If you look at critical theory, which came out in the 90s, and it was really about law and how crime is viewed, and how this is where intersectionality comes into play too. You see a big sphere, right? And it's cut in half, okay? And on the top part of the sphere is, okay, you have male, and then the other end of the sphere is female, okay? The top part of the sphere has power or is the oppressor. And below it, below the sphere, you have has no power, does not have power, is the oppressed, right? And you can just neatly divide all of these little categories of life into these categories. This is critical theory, right? So male, privileged, female, unprivileged. Cisgender, this new word that we all hate, is privileged. Transgender is oppressed, right? Okay. White versus person of color. Right?
Yeah.
Like all of these dichotomies, and the idea with critical theory is like if you
Oh,
rack,
wait, now it's
you
not
rack
just-
up points in the oppressed field. So you're female and you're transgender and you're black and you're a non-native speaker of English. Now you have more points in this category of oppressed. So you're more oppressed.
And people, now it's
So
a competition.
you have more value. Your
Yeah.
voice has more value.
Well,
right?
and
in
I've even
this
seen
new system.
people say like, I just saw a black lady the other day, and this was like, I don't even know what news channel it was, but it was like they're sitting around a conference table discussing things like,
Yeah.
and she's like, it is impossible for white people to be the victim of racism. And I'm
Yes.
just like, it's exactly what you're saying. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you have to meet these certain boxes and then you get to be the victim,
Yeah.
but there's no way the person up there could be a victim.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, no, if somebody treats me poorly because I'm white, that's called racism.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck about anything else.
Exactly. It's still racist. If you're judging somebody by the color of their skin, you're being racist.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple concept, right?
This is considered an outdated definition. And what Seattle Public Schools and Edmond School District wants us to know is that actually you can only be racist if you're a white person.
Oh, I know.
You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, exactly. So it's this,
So now it's like-
new theory.
Looking at yourself like you're some type of monster.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and that's,
am I supposed to be ashamed of who I was born as?
So that's
because
why-
the whole thing about racism and Martin Luther King, all the stuff is like, no. We're all equal.
Yeah,
We're all the same.
that's considered outdated.
We're
now,
built.
Greg.
We are judged on our character. What a shocking concept, right? And here's what these people don't realize. As soon as you put me in a different category because I'm a white male, you are literally perpetuating the problem
Yes.
that we have been trying to extinguish for how long?
Exactly.
It's
exactly.
It's crazy.
That's where it feels very orchestrated to me.
I think so too.
And seeing it coming from the field of education, because we work with kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, are those teachers going to teach the white kid whose dad is a police officer and maybe has a Trump sign in their yard?
Yeah.
That teacher's going to teach that kid, treat that kid differently now.
Yep.
And, you know, I think there's a real problem.
What a shame.
There's a real problem with white male suicide in this country, too.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we should stop saying that they have all this power, because if they had all this power, they wouldn't be killing themselves. I mean, the kids, too. And it's getting younger, too.
Yeah, I know.
Younger and younger. And with the social media influence, everybody on this podcast, again, I'm remembering now, you have an audience, should read The Coddling of the American Mind by Jonathan Haidt. And this isn't about like race and blah, blah, blah. This is about social media and kids not having the opportunity to explore their world and kids being online.
I think that's book 3 on the top shelf.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yep, I've read that one.
Hell yeah. And that came out before the pandemic. The pandemic amped everything up to 11. So all of the
For sure.
critical theory rhetoric that's rooted in postmodernism and like borderline pedophilic in a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where's the border between child and adult, Greg?
Yeah.
Where are these? Who's creating these artificial
Mambla.
boundaries?
Minor attracted.
Yeah. Where's the border between male and female, Greg? What about all these intersex people, right?
Yeah.
So that's postmodernism, right? So that all ramps up to 11 during the pandemic. All these kids are stuck at home. Let me remind you, it's not like the lower class kids, right? Because when okay, it's kind of insulting, like lower class, but the middle class kids whose parents are part of the laptop class that are staying at home and are telling all their kids to wear a mask and, you know, money's not a problem for us because our office is closed, but we can work from home and we can isolate and we have a backyard. So it's okay that the parks are closed, Greg.
Yeah.
You know, what about the families living in like a 1-bedroom apartment in Seattle?
Yep.
And all of a sudden, you know, you can't go to work anymore. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Oh, maybe some check will come in eventually. But, you know, you're living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of the kids that I taught when the school shut down, they never came back online. We lost like half our students.
Yeah, of
We
course.
don't know, you know, where they weren't logging in. A lot of them were going to work, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot more kids were going to work than we realize. And a lot of kids, concerningly so, just never returned to school.
Yeah, wow.
Another thing that public schools do a really good job of is keeping an eye on kids that might need child protective services.
Yeah, yep.
And like...
Well, and a lot of kids, and you know this to a much greater degree than I do, school is actually their safe place.
Yeah.
School is actually where they get stability and they get to be around normal human beings.
Right. This is a lot of kids.
Because home is just dysfunction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's scary too because sometimes CPS makes mistakes, right?
Of course.
And you hear about these horror stories, right? But I think it's really important to know that like these social programs are crucial for society. That's why I'm not like 100% libertarian. I'm like, let's feed and save the children, y'all.
Yeah.
Right? But
well, the thing is, like this big shift that happened in 2020, like you just talked about, with like all the different things that really started to become like the focal point. I think it's just a big movement to disempower everybody, because if you make someone feel like a victim, a victim is not a place of empowerment.
Yep.
It's the complete opposite. And it's like, it goes back to circle back to being bullied, right? Sometimes you have to be willing to step up and say, no, this is who the fuck I am and this is what I stand for.
Yes.
But when you make everybody feel like everything is out to get you, poor you, no one likes you because you're gay, no one likes you because you're black, no one likes you because of this and this and this.
Yeah.
And then they just start attaching more and more and more and more and more and more, like you just said, to where now it's basically, if you're not a white male, the world's out to get you.
Yep.
And all of these, there's so many kids that believe that. And you watch any of the Charlie Kirk type things where people are going to college campuses, they say it all the time. It's like, you don't understand what it's like. I deal with racism every single day. And then when they dive into that a little deeper, it's like, no, that's just the story you're telling yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
You know, because like, dude, I was in the military for 10 years, well, between military and contracting. And I was a police officer for 10 years. I can't think of one single incident where it's like, oh, fuck, dude, there's a black dude in our platoon.
Yeah.
It just, no, how do you perform?
Right.
How good are you at your job?
Yeah.
And I've also never seen the other side of that where a cop's like, dude, that car that just went by had 4 black men. Let's get them. I've never heard that.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, I'm 1,000% sure, dude. We used to joke. My special response team, which is like a SWAT team in Los Angeles, was like 3 Asians, 3 whites, 3 Mexicans, and 3 black dudes.
Cool.
And we used to joke about how we're the most like racially diverse poster child team, right?
Yeah.
And guess what else was true about that team? Busting each other's balls with the most racist shit you could think of because we're having fun with each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
No one felt like a victim. And it's strange that this is now the reality of our world.
Yeah.
And I think you're spot on. I think it's orchestrated because if everybody thinks we all hate each other, the fucking people at the top get to keep controlling everything. And human beings, I don't know if this is true because human beings have been killing each other since the beginning of time.
Yeah, we're not a peaceful species.
But I also think human beings of all different backgrounds can coexist in the right circumstances too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, oh my gosh, I was very much in that very like white guilt sort of position of an educator, right? Feeling like, oh, I have to, I remember some of the things that they would say to us, like, oh, you shouldn't hire this woman. I had the opportunity to use a grant to let an artisan come into my class and teach some storytelling stuff to my students. And I found this woman that was amazing. She was a puppeteer. And they were trying to tell me like, oh, you shouldn't choose her because she's white and like your students aren't white. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but she's making these amazing puppets and it's a visual way of storytelling. My students are level 1 English learners. Like, this is perfect for them.
The fact that that's even part of the discussion.
Yeah, they would talk all the time about, oh, we need to hire more non-white teachers. They will just say this outright. I remember, okay, so 2020 was what turned me. The 2020 was my red pill moment. Not red pill in the sense of, oh, it's republicanism. Red pill in the sense of the Matrix, like, wake up.
Yep.
Wake up. I woke up out of that, leftist kind of a slumber.
Well, they're saying it to you, a white woman.
Yeah. But honestly, I took it at first for a long time. And I was like, yeah, it really makes sense. Like, it's too bad. Like, sometimes I feel like just another white lady trying to teach these kids. And it makes you feel bad about yourself. Like, I'm not the right one for this. There should be, a Spanish speaking, Quiche speaking, mama figure from, with brown skin in my position instead. That would be much better for these students. And it makes you feel bad about yourself because you're like, I'm only myself.
And I bet the students don't give a fuck.
The students don't give a fuck, dude.
They just
came, dude. The first year too, oh my God. And this is what's so beautiful. And I want people to remember about immigration too, especially during these times where we see all of these stories on both sides. Man, think about the kids and what they've been through. And I feel like kids are special. Like, I feel like kids should be given an exception. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're 15 years old. You don't have any fucking family at all. You're here by yourself. Or maybe you're here with your brother who's also a kid. And like, I just feel like, some of these kids, like, if you give them just a little bit, like, they will give back to the communities. Like, they will. Like, they're in school. They want to learn English. They want to learn math. They want to learn a trade and work and do a good job and pay taxes and be a citizen and learn and have babies here and have American citizen babies here and contribute to the American dream. Like, the American dream is born from people that weren't born here, that were born in other parts of the world. the old school, the European diaspora that came, all of those people, like yours and my ancestors that came to the U.S. and saw just a dream, even Toru, my husband, right? Coming to the U.S. for this, this dream to, marry this goofy fighter white lady. I don't know. He loves America.
Yeah.
He loves America so much. He has hard work tattooed on his knuckles. Like those are the kinds of immigrants that you want, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm teaching these kids, and again, it's like you don't know all of them. Like you don't know how many of them are gonna grow up to move back or contribute to the society, or maybe join a gang or whatever, right? You don't know. You don't know.
It's
but they're
also
kids. They're malleable.
You give them what you can.
Yeah.
They'll dictate the rest.
I've had 2 students from Venezuela who came, and when they came, like they were so skinny, and within months, like it was like they were eating and they were smiling and they're making friends and they're learning English and they're doing such a good job. And I just want your listeners to remember that there's always been a place in America for good, hardworking people that come from other parts of the world and call America their home and do assimilate, right? But I'm just so disappointed that the Trump administration has not laser focused on criminals. And not the crime of crossing the border. I mean, the crime of rape, murder, gang involvement, endangering the lives of children, endangering the lives of others, drunk driving, illegal, license. It might be easier to target people that are, going into their court date or whatever. But I don't know. I will say publicly, I did vote for Trump. Going from hating him, thinking he's the worst thing in the world, to actually voting him this last election.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's still a better result than Kamala, but there's a lot of things with this administration. Rattling the drums of war with Venezuela. Come on. What are we doing?
I think
Go buy Raytheon stock, I guess.
think a lot of people are disappointed
Yeah.
with how the administration's playing out.
Yeah.
I do. I mean,
Totally.
I could talk about a lot of things as well.
Totally.
But it's, that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah, right.
The lesser of two evils is a common theme in most elections. Yeah. And during this election, I wasn't looking at it like that. I wasn't. I was hopeful we could turn everything around. But
yeah, hey,
I don't know.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
What was because we got to wrap. We're already at 2:10.
Oh, no shit.
Isn't that crazy?
I can be late for work. It's not a big deal. Another nice thing about hospitality.
We'll wrap it up here in a minute or two, but I wanted to hear kind of the final straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah,
where you're
totally.
like, all right, this is no longer for me.
2020 hits. Okay, so 2020 hits. I'm in a first floor apartment in Seattle in South Lake Union. The riots from the George Floyd shit are so close that I can hear them.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there with floor to ceiling windows, and I'm pregnant with my daughter. And I'm suddenly realizing, red pill moment, this is what guns are for.
Yeah.
This is why we have the Second Amendment, yep. Right? Right. So that was the straw that broke the camel's back as far as being really on the left. And then I started vocally questioning the Seattle Public Schools employees. When we had an online seminar, they separated us into rooms based on our race or perceived race for a breakout session. This was all digital. You could never do this in person. This was another thing about 2020 and why things got radicalized so quickly.
Yep.
Yep, they took advantage of the situation. You could never do this.
So all the white ladies go over here.
Yeah.
Do fuck you.
Yeah, you look white, you go over there. There was a Muslim dude in our group who was like, I don't know why I'm in here. I'm oppressed too. And I'm like, dude, what is this?
Trying to out-victim each other. That's
not even the straw that broke the camel's back, because after that, I did one more year at Seattle Public Schools, and then I went to Edmonds Public Schools because we'd moved to Linwood. Mm-hmm. And I was teaching English language learners and English language arts. It was the first time I'd taught English language arts to native speakers of English, and holy shit, friends, we are in trouble. With they were telling me, the English department was telling me, I should try not to teach novels because it was too much for my seniors. That if I were to teach a novel, they should be able to choose what novel they want to read, and that I can't assign a novel and expect them all to read it. That's unrealistic, Greg.
Isn't that what teachers have been doing since the beginning of time?
I mean, fucking A.
Is the book we're reading?
Well, I did spend a quarter on 1984. I'm proud of that, but had to do it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, these poor kids, man. But the straw that broke the camel's back for me was another online seminar where they sat us all down. And again, this was, it was 2022, but it was still too much COVID in the air, Greg.
Yeah.
So we had to do it online because it's so much easier to shove this shit down your throat when you're sitting there and can't talk to people.
Yeah.
Can't even look at people. Everybody's camera and microphones turned off, and the chat is set so that you can only talk to the people that are doing the presentation. So you're sitting there for this mandatory, and you don't, this is part of your mandatory training.
Yeah.
You have to go to this.
This has fuck you written all over it.
Dude, it was all about gender and sexuality, right? They come out, and one of the first things they say is, okay, everybody, I just want you all to ground yourselves because this presentation may cause some of you to have an amygdala hijack. What's your amygdala, Greg?
Is it fight or flight?
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? It's that lizard part of your brain, right? So what could possibly hijack it? Maybe you hear something that makes you go into fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
Maybe you see something that kind of amps you up and makes you instinctively go, wow, this is wrong. You need to ignore that. Your amygdala is being hijacked.
Yeah, don't trust your instincts.
Don't trust
whatsoever.
your instincts at all. Okay.
Those people have never served in combat.
Of course.
Because that's the number one rule you
These
learn.
people haven't served.
Always trust your instincts.
No. These people don't know a thing about service.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Anyway, the second or third slide, they're explaining to us, sexuality stuff.
What the fuck does this even have to do with being a public educator?
Everything, Greg.
God.
Everything. You need to know your students' sexual orientation and the pronouns that they use and how they identify and why they identify. It's very important, Greg. It's more important than their academics.
I don't remember any of my teachers being concerned about who I was fucking.
Yeah, well.
I just don't remember that.
It's as pedophilic as it sounds, honestly.
Yes.
It's so gross.
It's exactly what it is.
It's disgusting.
You want to know about you want to talk to them about their fucking dick, and you want to talk to them about what they like giving them an orgasm. Like, dude, fuck you.
Here's where it gets even worse, though. So it's like the second or third slide, and they're talking about sexuality. And they said, according to research, there's so much bullshit, quote unquote, research out there, stuff they call as research. According to research, children as young as 2 years old are experiencing their sexuality and experimenting with it. They're experimenting with their gender identity at as young as 2 years old. It's part of their identity formation in their young age. That's why when you ask trans people, they say they've known since they were 3 or 4 or 5 years old that they were the opposite gender that they actually are.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I can't even look to another human being's face at this point and give them the, did he just fucking say that? Look.
Yeah, dude.
Because we're corralled into this online format, right? So that was the camel. That was the camel, Greg.
That was the camel. That was it.
That was the camel that broke the straw's neck.
Yeah. And did you just go in and say, you know what, dude?
I tried to put up with it. Because this happened towards the end of that school year.
So just go into the summer and decompress.
Yeah, I went into the summer, and that summer was, I like to joke that it's the summer that radicalized me because I smoked a lot of weed and built a garden in my backyard because I was convinced that, I went through like a little bit of a prepper phase.
Good.
Which I think is really good. I feel like everybody should go through a pepper phase at some point in their life because you'll just,
Well, read a history book.
Yeah, exactly.
Humans
right?
do mean
just
shit
be prepared.
Humans do mean shit to each other sometimes.
And this shit could hit the fan so fucking quick,
Yep.
man. Anyway, so I went through my prepper phase and went back in the summer. I put together an awesome curriculum too, prepared to teach 10th grade English language arts. And it had novels. It had film study. And it was sequential. And I had Shakespeare. I had Macbeth in there. I had taught 10th grade honors the year before for one semester and had such a good time with it. So I was kind of piggybacking on some of those ideas. And when I got in, I was like, oh my God, this is untenable. The first thing, the year was just completely out of control. The first thing that was really bad was first of all, they're supposed to cap classes at 30 to 1. So you could have no more than 30 students to one teacher. There were like 33 or 34 kids in this class. And it was awful. They were acting like third graders. It was unbelievable. It was like the pandemic broke some of these kids in a way that they're not interested in learning. They're interested in just doing what they need to do so that they can look at their phones.
Yeah.
And this was before there was anything against the phones either. So that became a really big issue. And I was like, okay, you know what? I went into this school year with this energy that like I could fight the system from within, but I just I felt so hopeless with the tools that were given me. And like Edmond School District is a rich school district.
Yeah.
They have a ton of money. Edmonds and Linwood.
A lot of old money.
They're flush with cash, dude. And so for them to stretch it out like that, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like just the most idiotic decisions at the district level that were made. And the jobs that they create just for the sake of creating jobs. Like the lady that did the presentation on the sexual stuff was like 28 years old, had like a PhD from somewhere, getting paid like 6 figures just to do seminars telling the white teachers like how racist they are. Like, what a nice job, dude.
Yeah.
Like the district will just create jobs and then be like, oh, 40 kids in a classroom.
Yep.
Oh, well, oopsies.
Fuck it.
Yeah. So I rage quit. I feel kind of bad about it. I really should have done what I've seen other teachers do and just run the clock out and use all the PTO and use all the vacation days. I didn't do that. I was just so disgusted. I just fucking rage quit, man.
That's you, though.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That's a fighter in you.
I guess so. And I went to
I'm not a problem until I am, and right now I'm a problem.
Yeah,
Fuck
exactly.
You know?
And like, I will be your most loyal fan and friend until you fuck me.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
on.
are you going to fuck me? Well, fuck you.
I love it, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I hate to wrap this up because we're having fun.
I know, yeah.
But it's time.
Yeah, we could do this again sometime if you want.
I was just gonna say what this tells me is we can do round 2 sometime.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
And people like the stories of people who are willing to stand up and push back and say fuck you, because most people have that feeling in their heart, especially through the 2020 era.
Oh my god.
Because I'm the same as you. Like I got pushed into saying fuck you too, right?
Yeah.
And there's honor in that.
Yes.
And people like that. And that's in a world where a lot of people are apprehensive to do it, even though there's something inside of them saying, fuck, man, this doesn't feel right. I think telling those stories is important because it empowers people. And if you think it's over, you're wrong.
Yeah.
We will be going into another season of fuckery before too long.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Last thing I'll say before we wrap it up is I like supporting your mission. Like you said, you're being an artist and drawing is something you do for fun now.
Yeah.
But you still you draw children's jiu-jitsu books, which are awesome. They're here at the gym. Are those available online anywhere now?
They are. They're my coloring books. They're available at alpharaptorindustries.com.
Okay, so I'm going to put that link in the show notes below.
Sweet.
Swipe up and buy one of those books if you have a child. And not only because they're cool books, but also because I like supporting people's passions. And like, you're not doing that trying to get rich, but I hope you do get rich doing it because it's a passion. And I like some. That's why every once in a while we'll be at Bow Out. I'll be like, go buy Val's books, right? And so I'm saying that to my listeners now. But they're also cool and they're fun. And
well,
so
thanks. I make some plushies for them too. So there's the 2 main characters, Rico Raccoon and Lucky the Cat. So I sell plushies of them. And then I have a graphic notebook, which is it's like a handcrafted jiu-jitsu notebook. It comes with stickers that you can use to take notes in your own words. So that's another project that I do. And then I take a lot of those images and I put them on some posters. My favorite is a canvas poster that I did a couple of years ago. There's over 40 positions on it, and
Okay.
it's a hierarchy of positions.
Yeah.
So it's big. I think it's 24 inches by 36 inches, and you can get that online too.
All right, go buy all that stuff. She's a great artist. You're a black belt, and I like supporting people on their missions. And
Well, thank you, Greg.
Thank you for coming on.
This was so fun.
Yeah, see, I told you nothing to be nervous about.
Yeah, I'm not nervous now.
Yeah,
now
we
I
had a-
feel loose. Now I feel good.
Fuck yeah.
It's like all choppy in the beginning.
Just in time to wrap it up.
I guess so.
All right, thank you, Val.
Thank you, Greg.